The following podcast may contain spoilers, strong language, graphic violence, and nudity. Viewer discretion is advised. I mean, I know I do some shady shit, but like, I'm an American. I'm paraphrasing.
Four guys and a movie. Four guys and a movie. Donnie, Brian, Rob, and Joe reviewing movies for the show. Four guys and a movie.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Four Guys in a Movie podcast. We're here. So, thanks.
Yeah. There's that.
There's that. Oh my goodness, guess what? We all watched The Rocketeer this week. I'm your host, Rob, joined by my friends
Brian,
Will,
Tony,
and Joe.
And again, we rolled the dice, and it came up 90s again. But this time, maybe one we enjoyed? Question mark. We'll see how it goes. You know what? We haven't done this in a couple of episodes, so we may as well do it now. What's everybody's history with this film? Brian, how do you feel?
my first time seeing this movie.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I'd seen a piece of the end on TV once. It's like the last 5 minutes or so.
Just little corn nibbles of it?
Yeah, but I've never seen this before.
Okay. Well, you have a little history with this film?
Yeah, I was talking beforehand, and I feel like I have an odd amount of nostalgia for this one. I think it was on the Disney Channel.
You were born the year it came out, right?
What year did it come out?
94.
No, I was 3 at the time.
Okay.
It was on Disney Channel a lot, though. You know, when I was able to be watching TV on my own, and I feel like I rented it a decent amount of time from Blockbuster.
That was a thing, yeah.
Yes, I was around for that point, but I couldn't remember a lot about it, so I was kind of looking forward to watching it or rewatching it and seeing how it held up.
I found my Blockbuster membership card when I was moving.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure mine's kicking around somewhere. It's going to be.
Still valid.
I think when I changed wallets at some point, like in college, I found it. And
It's like that one
was sad.
Blockbuster somewhere in Nebraska. Like,
yeah, there's one in Oregon that's still like the one that's still.
Tell you
working.
what, if we ever do live shows, go on the road, we'll go to the last remaining Blockbuster to get our movie.
Oh, for
choice.
sure.
And then it'll close.
Yeah.
Podcast from it.
You get to pick one of 3 movies that the Blockbuster has in stock. Joe, what's your history with this film?
I saw it exactly once, and the only thing I can remember is that it involved a blimp.
Okay.
While I was thinking about this, I think any movie that involves a blimp, I'm going to remember that it involves a blimp. I don't know why. That's just a random piece of trivia, but blimp's very memorable.
That's not bad.
Other than that, though,
Just-
there was nothing about this
Mhm.
movie that
Just
like
blank.
stuck with
Retained
me at
to your
all.
brain.
Blank.
Yeah.
I remembered the
That's all.
helmet. That
Yeah,
was about it.
Yeah.
I was saying I remember it was either the poster or the cover of the VHS was like, I don't know, was kind of ingrained on my mind.
Mhm.
So like that image of him, like very looking like stylized 1930s art. But
Mhm.
that's all I could really remember.
Well, speaking of the helmet, Tony, what's your history with this movie?
we saw this shit in theaters.
Yeah.
I remember. Well, it's weird. All right, sorry. I'll save some of that. But yeah, we saw it in theaters. I've seen it on video. It's been a long time since I last watched it, but that's, you know.
What was our jetpack made out of? Do you remember? Was it Coke bottles? Was it just a
Oh, you made a
backpack?
jetpack.
Oh,
Um,
we
Of
made
course they made a jetpack.
we made
Oh, yeah.
the whole outfit.
You wanted to get into all that. I believe it was Coke bottles on the side for the engines.
Uh-huh.
And I think just cardboard, different bits of cardboard, or was there other?
I couldn't remember if we just taped bottles to the side of our like proton pack toy.
That sounds pretty awesome.
No, I think
though.
it was fully made,
Okay.
or it might have started as a backpack to get the straps. But
Mhm.
yeah, I know like the rest of it was all homemade.
How do we make the? I remember the helmet had a cardboard fin, but I
Yeah.
don't remember what the rest of it was made. Was it all
I
cardboard?
think it was all cardboard.
Okay.
And I think it was just like a shoestring to a glove for the little, you know,
Oh yeah, definitely,
thing.
definitely that.
man.
Yeah.
Was this a Halloween costume or
No,
was this to
this
play
was
Rocketeer?
Backyard.
Hey, Tony,
Rocketeer
let's
backyard fun.
make the Rocketeer.
That's right.
I was like,
That's good, Rob.
nailed it. Perfect.
Which one of the little
Give it a
rascals?
little bit
am I?
longer, we'll fully become Rob.
All kinds of mischief y'all get into.
Yeah.
Little scamps.
Yeah. About that.
Yeah, at least that one, I think we were only jumping off like the little deck by our house, not the roof. So,
Well, yeah. So what else can you tell us about this film?
I remember the Disney Adventure that announced it.
Oh, yeah, Disney
you
Adventures
mean
magazine.
Yes. Oh, yeah. All right. So, yeah. Rocketeer from 1994. We already talked about that. Joe Johnston, who, of course, we've already covered in the show because he did Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. He did Jumanji.
Oh, that's
yeah.
right.
Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, I was like,
But
keep
also,
going.
this movie got him his more recent credit of Captain America: The First Avenger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like a decade ago.
Yeah.
Well, yes,
more
but-
recent. Well, more recent.
Well,
When you say it got him that, the Marvel like see this and we're like, we like that style, or
yeah, I think somebody in there was like, "We're doing a period piece of like a superhero from that time period."
gotcha.
And we've already done that. So let's get that guy because he did a good job. Cool.
Timothy Dalton as Red Skull. What do y'all think?
Same.
Yeah, about the same.
All right.
Alan Arkin as Bucky.
Jesus. Very different movie. I so want to see Civil War now with him. All right.
That explains the jeez. That explains the drawings you were making on your ship fiction.
So this movie, of course, is based on a actual graphic novel, written and created and stuff and whatever by Dave Stevens in 1982.
I honestly thought this was like an original concept. I didn't realize it was a
this
graphic novel.
They did change a lot of it because they had other properties involved. Like apparently the original jetpack was made by Doc Savage.
So it's DC.
It is not. I don't know if it was then, because
Well, who's Doc Savage? Isn't that DC?
No, I don't
Who's
know
DC?
who does Doc Savage anymore.
Is that Mr. Sinister's more successful brother?
And Adam Savage's father.
I think it's Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah,
Dr. Disrespect.
Rocketeer is currently under
Martial law.
IDW. I don't know
Oh.
who they used to be owned by.
So he can
'cause,
cross
like,
over with the
like,
Transformers.
People read a comic
could.
about this?
They did. I don't know if they still
Okay.
do.
Still going, yeah,
Yeah.
30 years later.
I think it
But I
is.
mean,
Archie's has been going on forever.
Yeah.
So.
it was straight up based off of Commando Cody, though, like those old serial shorts from that
It's all-
actual time period.
Well, yeah, it's all kind of, whatever. Everybody did the same kind of shit.
Well, I mean, even like the rocket pack looks similar, and the helmet looks
Yeah.
similar.
I assume this was some kind of cereal that they
Yeah.
were.
Had that vibe.
Yeah.
But another major change is the girlfriend here was originally Betty Page off of
Okay,
the actual Betty Page, who apparently was good friends with Dave Stevens.
sure,
She refused to have her likeness be used in this movie.
sure,
And of course,
because she decided one day to not have her likeness involved with one thing,
well,
and it was a movie.
also, we wanted to be family friendly, so she could no longer be a nude model. So actress instead. Other people that they thought could play the lead role of Cliff were Kevin Costner, Emilio Estevez,
Sure,
Dennis Quaid,
yeah.
Michael Keaton, Alex Baldwin, Robin Williams, Mel Gibson,
Oh, that would have been.
Vincent D'Onofrio,
What?
Ron Perlman.
That's not leaving the ground.
What?
Yeah.
I think you got that wrong. I think Ron
Perlman.
Perlman was supposed to be the big villain.
Yeah.
And Disney's favorite, want to guess? Johnny Depp.
Oh, okay.
'Cause-
No,
Yeah.
this movie, this is like a Nicolas Cage or an Emilio Estevez right in their wheelhouse kind of role.
Yeah, I could see Nicolas
I could
Cage
see
here.
that.
I mentioned when we were watching the point you brought up about the Keanu Reeves character in Speed. It's like when it's an archetype, like who cares, like
Yeah.
who the lead actor
Yeah,
is.
Kinda,
Disney just
yeah.
went
Just
down
get their
to the
hair a little floofy and be able to like stand up straight in that leather jacket.
But that is when this guy, and actually most of this movie, looks like he stepped out of the comic strip.
Really?
Like, yeah, that's why they chose him, even though I think this was his debut
Relatively
performance.
I legit
Yeah.
thought Disney just went down to the Jonathan Taylor Thomas factory, picked their Brendan Brazier mold off the shelf, and just plopped out one of these 90s.
No, I still been watching this. He looks like an actual cartoon character.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
He
Like-
is Prince
No,
Charming.
yeah.
Yeah, this would have been also a Brendan Fraser role.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they would have totally,
exactly.
He kind of
totally
plays the same
interchangeable.
Yeah.
kind of guy in like The Mummy.
Yeah. That's exactly it. It's
Yeah.
playing basically the same
Adventure
character.
guy, yeah.
But speaking of playing the same kind of guy, Eddie Valiant, or I'm sorry, Eddie Valentine.
That would have been totally different.
I wish. Well,
Bob Hoskins strapping that thing on.
this also would have been interesting because this character I was talking about was almost played by Joe Pesci, which if he played
Wait,
Eddie
what?
Valiant,
Who?
that would have been interesting.
Oh, the mob,
mobster.
the mob.
That would've been
Of
great.
course, the mobster.
Yeah, they just
He would have been
chose
stomping
other
on
random-
Timothy Dalton's face.
Yeah. Yeah, that would not have ended the same.
Get him in a corner and stab him with a pen like 20 times.
Neville Sinclair. They were talking about Jeremy Irons or Charles Dance. Yeah,
Oh.
both those very different movies.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean,
So I always forget what Charles Dance has been in besides Tywin Lannister.
He was the bad guy in Last Action Hero.
and
Yeah,
Oh,
The
yeah.
Golden
Yep.
Child.
Yep.
the Golden
Oh,
Child.
Golden
Yeah,
Child. Okay,
and
yeah.
like a vampire just
Yeah.
in life.
Yeah, he's looked the same.
yeah. I don't know. I think Jeremy Irons is pretty much a lateral move from Tim Dalton.
I mean, like, I'm not. It's not a comment on saying he's not good, but like, yeah, here Timothy Dalton's doing
Use
a
all your rage.
yeah, he's doing a suave,
Swashbuckler.
movie star. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
supposed to be Errol Flynn because
Sure.
of the whole Errol Flynn might have been a Nazi, whatever.
I
But
didn't know that.
oh yeah,
Seems like I got some Googling to do later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeremy
Let's
Irons, he's villain from the start.
Yeah.
Like, there's no question.
Look
Of
at that
all of the
mustache.
roles in this movie, that like Timothy Dalton was the only one that I saw, and I'm like, that's good casting.
He looks like Scar.
It does look like
Does
Scott.
look- Don't let
Even though
Jeremy
that's
Irons
played
hear
by
that.
Jeremy Irons.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, very angular face.
At one point, he has like that shitty wig on, and like it looks like a fucking dark mane, and his eyes look like fucking Scar. And I was like,
But also, apparently, Disney invented something they called shaky cam for some of the scenes.
No, what?
But well, yeah, I don't think we really got it because apparently it didn't translate well when it was put out on video. So they
That never
steadied
stopped
the shots.
J.J. Abrams before.
Well, I was gonna say, did Michael Bay perfect it?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, invented by Disney, perfected by Michael Bay.
but as of 2016, there was talks of a reboot for the Rocketeer, and still is. And there is a Rocketeer series apparently on Disney Junior.
I say, make it a Disney Plus series. Like
just
it-
so you can justify having the
For
service.
paying for it, yeah.
No, I think every Disney movie ever plus all the other stuff is justification.
I also like when it talks about the reboot. Apparently, they were like Billy Campbell was like willing to come back. Like, of course he is.
Of course
Yeah.
he
What the hell is he
is.
doing?
Of course
Come
he
on.
is, honey. Or instead of that, just make a cool like roller coaster, like a Rocketeer roller coaster.
You gotta have a show to promote the coaster.
Vice versa.
It would be a
Yes.
really cool coaster, though.
It would.
You're right.
Like have it one of the launch coasters, you know?
Yeah.
Have it go up really fast and then fly
You get
around.
to kill a Nazi at the
Yeah,
end.
kill some
Yeah,
Nazis.
you could like dive. Yeah, I mean the cart can go through like some biplanes and stuff.
That would
like,
be
diving by.
really cool.
At one
Yeah.
point, that the brute man could fly in front of you or something.
Yeah.
Knock him out of the way.
Yeah,
All right,
I
so-
like that.
Anyone want to guess at how much money this movie cost?
94.
$17 million.
I'm gonna say 40 million.
They didn't pay much for those jetpack effects. 15.
25 million.
We'll get to it. It was $35 million. Want to guess how much it made?
$50 million.
I'm gonna say 70 million.
85.
30.
I'm gonna have to give it to Joe. $48 million.
Yeah,
Wow.
That is barely a
Nothing about
Barely a
this movie
return.
told me it did well.
All right. Well, I thought mine was a safe bet. I'm
I
like,
thought 50 million was a safe bet.
Yeah.
70's like it's decent but not
And
great.
they say you have to double, right?
Yeah,
break even.
usually.
Yeah. Cover
yeah.
marketing and all that.
Yeah. And there was. I feel like there was a lot of. There were no toys for this movie.
I was going to ask y'all.
And
if y'all
I
had
I
any
remember
stuff.
having one.
Yeah, I think there weren't a lot.
It might have been like one of those cheap Dollar General ripoffs. but
It could
I
be,
definitely
or
remember
like
having one.
super cheese toys where it's like the arms and legs are kind of fixed. Or,
Yeah.
It was
'cause
one
I
of
think
those
this-
where it was. You could tell that it was just a wire frame with like plastic molded over it. Like
Oh, just a bendy toy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. That makes sense.
I think there
Yeah.
might have been others, but yeah, I feel like this is the time when Disney was not very good about making their figures, so they were just all trash.
They hadn't gotten the marketing thing figured out yet. So
Well, they knew they need to put their image on everything, but they didn't care what it was.
yeah, but there
so
really
it was
wasn't though,
garbage.
because that was like the only figure. That was the only toy. There weren't like. Could you even imagine if we could have gotten like a real role play jetpack helmet?
Oh yeah,
Like that would have been huge, a huge seller.
Yeah,
I mean,
everyone
like-
would have wanted that helmet.
What,
Yeah.
what figures could they have made? Like mobsters,
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
no,
I mean,
some
dude,
Nazis.
Dick Tracy had a whole toy line.
yeah.
But they all had like, well, that one guy from this movie who looked like someone from Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lothar.
But then like, that's about it.
But
Like,
here's the thing, Brian. It's not so much about like how many different characters could you do. It's about making one decent Rocketeer. Like if you had a good Rocketeer figure, like a posable guy, and like you could make him fly around. Maybe you could even do one of those line
backpack could
launcher
fire
things.
missiles.
I'll
for
put
no
it. I'll
reason.
put it this way:
That would have been huge.
the Shadow movie
Oh,
had
yeah,
like
I
3 waves of figures that came out.
I think so.
It was one of those ones where they had toys of like
It's like
him having powers that were nowhere near.
yeah.
It's also like Batman, where like 90% of them were different versions of the Shadow. for
yeah,
no
that's
good
exactly
fucking
it.
reason.
Different version of the Rocketeer, like
But yeah,
it, like
you have an Arctic helmet.
yeah, exactly. Like
And you could
pretty much.
yeah.
you
I
get the,
think the Arctic helmet was just like a blue, whatever cloth around.
you
his
get
face,
him. You
but-
get him without the Rocketeer costume. And you get a whole that plane, that yellow and black plane. That was cool looking.
figure with a removable helmet. You got Matt.
Get
There you go.
a play set for like
Or
a
removable
blimp you
pants.
could blow up.
Yeah, there you go.
Inflatable Zeppelin.
I mean, we just used our
Full
Ninja
size.
Turtle blimp for that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Fucking get your Howard Hughes figure with jars of piss.
Jars of piss, yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if they had come out with a solid toy line, I feel like the movie still wouldn't have been huge, but probably would have done better.
Yeah.
Because kids would have been more engaged.
well, I think this is also a weird spot of this isn't really a kids movie.
Neither was The Shadow.
True, but I'm just saying
Neither was Jurassic Park, really.
this. You know,
I mean, it was a
who's your-
Spielberg movie, so it's kind of
No,
like...
my-
you know. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Sorry, my point is, who is this for? And I don't think they had a
Let's
very good
discuss.
audience at the time.
Yeah. Well, it never really occurred to me just how important in this era, like marketing through the toy lines were. Because like you'd go to Toys R Us and see these cool toys, and you're like, oh, what's this movie?
Yeah, that's
about?
what makes kids want to see the movie,
Yeah,
and kids
you're
drag
like-
their parents.
Yeah, I want this figure of this guy, and I want to go see the movie about it,
And buy the
Even when I
VHS.
can't.
even when I can't.
Like, I owned RoboCop long
Yeah.
before I could watch
Yeah.
RoboCop.
RoboCop had a cartoon.
I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
I watched it.
So did I.
I had those figures too. But
Yeah, so
That was a weird
It
noise.
was a duck fart.
Yeah.
My bad.
yeah, let's
we
transition
got
right
Howard
into
Hughes
the...
and Howard the Duck here today.
since we talked about most of the... let's talk about the cast.
All right, so yeah, we got Billy Campbell playing Cliff. We got Jennifer Connelly as Jenny, Alan Arkin as Peavy, Timothy Dalton as Neville Sinclair, Paul Sorvino as Eddie Valentine, and Terry O'Quinn as Howard Hughes.
Billy Campbell just sounds like a made up name, like
It's,
a
has-
placeholder name for
Has
any.
he been in anything
Yes.
else? Okay, what else has he been in?
Nothing great.
Yeah, you gotta search. Because he's since doing this, he's continued to act, but he's been in like he'll like play that the murder on like an SVU and things like that. So it's
Oh.
not like huge parts. He hasn't had a leading role in a long time.
Oh, also, the man who played the giant Lothar was named Tiny Ron.
Tiny Ron.
Yeah, I had to look him up because I had to see what his face actually looked like.
But his makeup, I'm pretty sure, was based on an actual person named Rondo Hatton, who had a pituitary issue, and his face
Tiny
looked...
Rondo.
Yeah,
Hmm.
basically.
Robert Zadar.
Robert Zadar. Yeah, but he had like his
Castlevania X,
face was
Rondo of
all
blood.
We should watch more movies with him in it.
Robert Zadar.
I'm
Okay.
down.
Yeah, all right. Future War?
Please. Nothing like dinosaur puppets.
I don't.
That was Rob Fappin.
Yeah, yes. Yes.
Or Pocket Ninjas. We could watch that.
Pocket Ninjas?
I would love that.
I'm not familiar with Pocket Ninjas.
Oh, I'll let you know.
He was
later.
was he in the Miami Connection?
No.
Oh, no. He was in Samurai Cop?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
It's so weird I would get those two movies confused.
I can't imagine why.
Oh my god! My father wrote to me.
All right. We're so off topic.
So the Rocketeer.
Yeah, Rocketeer.
Woo!
Uh,
We start with watching a plane get prepared to take off and then take off.
Yeah, we're in an airfield not owned by Zilly Bane.
It's like an old racing plane. Back when there are just like a big ass engine and like a tiny little cockpit.
So a death trap, you're
An
saying?
invisible
Yeah,
death
yeah.
trap, yeah. So yeah, we're outside LA in 1938, and there's just a random police chase, and there's like a guy in the trunk of a car shooting a Tommy gun at some feds, and
It's so weird. Yeah.
yeah,
So there's feds chasing these bad guys, but there's a police. Yeah, but there's a police car in the middle, and
Yeah, at first I wasn't.
yeah. The
Took a
feds
while to
just
understand
like,
what was
I
happening.
wish
You were
he'd get
afraid?
out of the way, and
Were
then
you
he
petrified?
does, and
Well,
then that's it.
yeah, they like shoot
Also-
the tire out, or
yeah,
I don't know what.
Did the Fed shoot the tire out?
No, that
No,
the guy
the-
with the Tommy gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then the man flying the plane's just like, I'm gonna get real close to that car firing a machine gun.
yeah, let's go check this out.
Yeah.
Why
and
not?
the
What
guy with the
could go
Tommy gun
wrong?
just shoots the shit out of it.
I mean,
You know.
Fuck your plane.
It's like it's coming right for us.
in his defense a bit,
Mm.
I think he was just trying to swoop that field. Like that's where he was planning to go, and they just happened to drive through it.
Why? Why would he go there?
That's what he had been doing the whole time. Like he'd been doing circuits around
Yeah.
to their airfield.
But yeah, I
Why?
don't know why this
Why?
guy was just for
Yeah,
plot.
plot reasons.
I don't, and other than plot, I don't know why this guy was just like, I need to take down this plane. So he
I need to take down
shoots
this
it down.
Yeah. There's a running theme throughout this film of either anything that flies is really slow or any kind of pickup truck is really fast.
It's the 1930s.
Yeah, in all cases, in this case, like the aircraft swoops down and it's going like the same speed as the truck, but like every time the Rocketeer rockets off somewhere, Alan Arkin's just right on him with the pickup truck. like he's immediately there.
We also have a weird thing that we're seeing in this particular scene where bullets will not hit a person, but they will fuck up an engine.
Oh yeah, yep.
Doesn't matter the type.
All right, so the plane gets shot up and it's going down, and then basically the car gets chased that the bad guys are in gets chased to the airfield where the plane came from, and this bad guy, the guy in the car, I mean the guy with the Tommy gun gets shot, and the guy driving has this package that he switches with a vacuum cleaner, and he hides the package in the in the pilot seat of an old junky plane in the hangar,
Yeah.
and then drives off, and the cops like shoot him up a little bit, and he crashes into the landing gear of the plane trying to land, causing it to crash.
Yeah.
And catch fire, and then he careens out of control and crashes into a fuel truck and blows that up.
And this airfield has several fuel trucks just hanging out.
Oh, this town does.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're all in key areas where something can explode later.
It's set up like a stunt show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the Indiana Jones.
And so
show.
the feds think that the
How life
the
was in
package
the
is in the
30s.
car, that vacuum cleaner is the package, and it gets all destroyed. So they're like, damn. And then the guy in the plane and Alan Arkin here show up, and they're like, yo, you just wrecked like everything. And the
Our
feds are
livelihood.
like, fuck you. You don't
He
care
like
about your
legit
plane.
said like
Yeah.
fuck you.
Yep.
He's like
I think
get a real job.
Get a real
fuck you.
job, yeah. Like,
Exactly, yeah.
all right.
He's
Stop
like,
flying
We're
around.
like in
I'm
the
a
middle
pilot.
of a fucking
That's a real
depression.
job.
yeah, that is a real job.
It's like the fucking depression, like
Yeah.
full tilt. Like, sorry,
Mhm.
asshole.
Big government.
So,
But I do like here, he gets so pissed off, he punches the dude, but it's not like, oh, he's our big hero, he just knocked the guy out. The guy just gets punched and then he goes, fuck you, and punches him right back.
yeah.
Like, it was an immediate return exchange.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
he's like, you got a weak left hook. Pow!
Our main character is a little bit of a soft throwing fool.
Yeah, he likes to throw a punch, but his punch is not very effective.
No.
I don't think there's any real case in this movie where he just straight up like wins a fight with
No,
that
not at
No,
all.
there's
Like,
no-
he gets his
Yeah.
ass handed to him around every corner.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's,
he's
It's not
a,
the point.
yeah.
he's
The
a
point is
pilot,
he's willing
not
to
a-
fight
yeah.
Yeah.
He's
For
a
what he
pilot,
believes
not a
in.
fighter.
So you're saying,
Yeah, America.
you're saying he can do this all day?
I'm not saying that.
So,
Cap was on drugs.
Yeah, that's
Was.
all he needed was the serum. He
It
would've
was-
been
it
great.
wasn't on drugs to begin with.
And he's getting his ass kicked in that alley.
Yeah. Until Bucky
He
comes.
got on the roids, and then
Until his Bucky comes for him.
All right, so
we
we're not talking about that
romance.
romance right now.
It's time to.
What
Oh,
the
shit.
hell was that?
The
That's
gremlins
my,
are coming.
That's my sink goblin.
Okay.
That
Something
was it.
in the kitchen just made an unacceptable noise.
So, because we live
For
in an
once, it wasn't me.
old ass apartment, the pipes are all connected. So when they're like running water upstairs, it'll sometimes create a bubble in our sink, which is what you just heard.
Are you sure like pink slime isn't coming
I
out
am
of your
not
sink?
sure of anything.
We're not gonna go look until the podcast.
Yeah, I'm not looking.
play some good music, happy music.
Yeah. So now we cut to the feds go back to Howard Hughes
That was
with
Pharrell's
their burnt
happy.
vacuum cleaner. And they're like, yo, Howard, build us a new one of these. And
Fuck no.
Yeah, he's like, no. I
Burning
shouldn't
this
have built
shit.
one to begin with. It's too powerful, I guess. You know,
Somehow.
fuck yeah. And he throws the plans for his jetpack in the fire in front of the feds.
Let's talk about this jetpack. Planes can carry weapons, bombs,
Oh, I've got a lot
Multiple
to say about the
troops.
jetpack.
More fuel.
more fuel. Yeah, I like how it was showing like crossing from Germany into all the other places. I'm like, rockets.
I'm going to hold on to that till the end.
Oh,
I've
okay.
got stuff to say about that. But
So everybody knows when to turn off the podcast.
I think what you're missing is if you're gonna have a kamikaze pilot, why waste all that? You know, the engine, the big plane. You could just strap a bomb and a jet to the back of a guy and send him into a
Bada
bus.
bing, bada
Much
boom.
more cost effective.
That sounds like a dumbass missile.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But it's a missile that can carry a gun first.
Oh boy.
All right, good times.
All right, sorry.
Yep. So, yeah. You do immediately though run into the credibility problem of you're like, why is the jetpack such a big deal? Like militarily, it's not. Like even right now, you're just like, this isn't like a big thing to make a fuss over.
I will play the 1938 card.
Yeah.
Where that would,
True, yeah. You know, they'd want to mess.
in their minds,
Yeah.
it would be a big deal. Like
They want
anything.
it
the wave
least
of
to
a
make,
future.
to make
Right.
it to
Yeah.
the testing phase.
To hear that the
before they
Nazis are doing
realize
it.
it's a terrible idea.
Right, like all they think is could be troops everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's all they're thinking. They don't. They're too paranoid to
it's
think
like
of.
fear mongering.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're too
Yeah.
paranoid to think of it like logically. Like, oh, they could get probably maybe into the next county if they're topped off, and then
And
they're
probably kill themselves when they land.
right, and then they're
And
stuck.
Howard Stark hadn't yet invented the flying car, so
Mhm.
Flux capacitor.
All right. So now we cut back to our main hero here, Cliff in PV, and there's this show promoter. I forget his name, but he's like, "Yeah, so I hate to do this,
Bigelow.
but you owe me a bunch of money." What was it?
Bigelow.
Bigelow, yeah.
He
You
only
owe me a
had
bunch
fuel.
of money because you blew up my fuel truck, and now you're an indentured servant to me. You gotta be in my air show.
Gotta be a clown.
Got to be a clown. And they're like, fuck, all right, I guess we got to be clowns. Let's go get in this old junky plane that we have over here. And he's like, oh shit, I sat on a jetpack. No, because they couldn't tell what it was.
Right.
He's just like, I sat on something. Let's get this out.
Yeah.
Looks like a vacuum cleaner.
Well,
Yeah.
like he's like, could it be a bomb? And it's like, no, there's too many moving parts.
What moving parts?
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
I don't.
fully enclosed.
He's like,
is-
bombs aren't this complicated or something like that.
Yeah, he said it's too complicated to be a bomb. I don't know what that means, but
Now, I will, you have to, PV
Mhm.
is an engineer.
Yeah.
So, like, you have to give him, like, all right, well, he
can
knows
fix
mechanics
anything.
or whatever. So, like, I believe him, yo. Like,
Mhm.
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So he deduces somehow it runs on alcohol.
he smelled it.
Yeah. And they
he knows it's alcohol.
Yeah.
So, like you do, you just hit the button that activates it without really studying what it does at all. And it just flies all crazy around the shop. And I don't understand, like, the way the throttle on this works is yes and no. Like, it's like video game vehicle controls.
Yes.
Because you just have a button, and it's like, it's either all the thrust or none of the thrust.
Yes.
There's no, so I don't understand why you wouldn't have, like, something like a lever you can alternate. I mean, you can toggle, or like why you wouldn't have to have your finger on the button the whole time for the thrust to work.
Well, it's
I
a
do
prototype, right?
Well, yeah, I do believe that's addressed because later on he makes some comment about how he made modifications
Yeah.
or whatever so that he could do that.
So you can control it, but it's like on and off is not a good control scheme.
Well,
And the fact that it continues to go, like, after, like, you should have to if you take your finger off the button, it should just stop the thrust.
I would like to know
good idea.
why the obvious harness was
Yep.
not obvious from second one.
Did take them a little while to realize you wear this.
Oh, hey,
yeah.
there are straps
Yeah.
like a harness, like a parachute that we would know and recognize because we're pilots.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not saying the first thing when I see this I would go immediately jump to jetpack, but it's, fairly quickly you realize this is an engine. It's made to go on your back. Figure it out.
Mhm. I do like, though, that once they figure that out, they're like, all right, let's go steal some other flight school statue and hook this shit up to it. Just basically what they do next. But before they, proceed with the next stage of testing, we get a really random introduction of the mobster character and the main villain. Because, like, you just cut to Eddie Sinclair, the mobster, is going to see Neville Sinclair, the villain, who is dressed...
Hold on.
What's that?
Eddie Valentine.
Okay. Is it Eddie Sinclair? Isn't
Oh,
that
whoops,
the
Eddie
lead,
Valentine, yeah.
lead dinosaur from
Yes.
Dinosaurs?
My bad.
It's okay. Not the
It
mama.
is yeah.
No,
I
that was
forgot
Earl.
about that.
Oh, Earl Sinclair. All right. I was wrong. Okay.
All right, so you just see, without any clue that he's like an actor or anything, this guy's just like prancing about with a rapier and like fencing attire, and you're just like, what's even happening here? And they're talking about shit that you don't
In
He has a lair.
actually get.
Yeah, in an Aztec tomb.
He's
Yep.
just fancy.
He's a fancy British lad.
Fancy guy. He's a fancy.
I mean, you're like,
fancy
I
dancy.
guess I'm interested. It's just
Daddy's
it's really
fancy
random.
boy.
He might be Daddy's fancy boy.
So yeah, basically, this guy's like, you got to go get me my package. You fucked up, mobster man. Mobster man's like, you got to pay me 3 times as much. And he's like, fine. And then they go off to commit evil.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, they no, this is when he calls up his new goon, who you only see him like Dr. Claw style reaching for a phone, and he's got like a little tray of sandwiches with the crust cut off.
Yeah.
And then now they go to test a jetpack, and they're in some field out in the middle of nowhere with the statue tied to a chain with the jetpack on it, and we just launch a jetpack around.
They literally launched this thing
Yeah.
off. It just because they tied it to a stake, like in loose soil, and it just pulls right out.
And it's weird. He has a switch he hooked it up to that turns it on, but I guess that switch doesn't turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't
that was
make any
really weird.
sense. Like,
That was the first thing I said. It was like, just turn it off. Why can't you
Yeah.
turn it off? Because like, say things didn't go the way they went. What was the plan?
Yeah. So
Was somebody climbing up this chain to go and
Yeah,
turn
it's
it
like-
off?
You're an engineer. You didn't build a kill switch.
Yeah.
So yeah, it flies about whimsically out of control. And
Like watching this, I was like, this whole movie hinges on this thing coming back to them.
yeah,
Because if it just flew off and that's the end of the movie, like
that'd be great. It just like you see them staring off at it, and then the credits just roll for a little bit.
It kills some kid
yeah,
the next
like-
town over.
it's just an engine. There's no way to steer it. There's no rudder on it.
Mhm.
There's nothing. So it should have just gone straight. Just kept going.
I also would have loved if Neville Sinclair was like, "I want my jetpack now," and it just came smashing through the window. Like, oh, that was convenient.
So yeah, now we are at the hospital where the gangster from earlier that they captured that crashed his car into the fuel truck is there, and this weird. At this point, I didn't know his name, so I called him Weird Lips McCrusher.
Close enough.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, this gigantic man with some Dick Tracy-like prosthetics on his face
Definitely.
comes in and just he gets some information from this guy about where the unit is, and then crushes him to death.
Those were official Rick Baker prosthetics.
Mm.
Huzzah.
And then you see like
You could just call him the Brute Man.
I like Weird Lips McCrusher. What my favorite part of this scene though is like when the cop finally realizes that this guy is crushing a man to death, and the screams are not coming from the TV. He
Radio.
runs in and he looks out. Oh yeah, the radio, and he looks out the window, and you just see this guy's giant feet do these little scurries away on the ledge. Yeah.
You said his name was Lothar?
Lothar. Yeah.
Ain't that like the dude from Voltron?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, the terrible Mike Myers Saturday Night Live sketch, Lothar of the Hill People.
Lothar of the Hill People.
I would have.
I didn't watch that show
Yep.
back then.
You didn't miss much.
I would have loved if he was out on this ledge, just like in a pigeon costume.
Wait, was that Mike
Very
Myers?
much to me.
Was it? I thought it was Mike Myers. Who'd you?
I thought that was Phil Hartman.
Maybe. Could have been.
Who was
Yeah.
Lothar of the Hill People? Was it?
I don't.
Did he dress in a
remember,
suit?
But
He was like in
No,
a cave, like a Conan costume.
no, yeah. See, that's the thing. I think you're confusing him with the caveman lawyer.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Which sounds right up Phil Hartman's alley.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the fire bed, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that was.
All right. So now Cliff goes on his big date. What should I call it? He takes his girlfriend Jenny out from her whatever
Boarding house?
Convent?
boarding house. Yeah. Borderline convent she lives in.
I do like the lady of the house said, if he tries anything, deck him.
Yeah.
Yes.
He pretty much just has to like sign her out and back in.
Claw the balls.
Mhm. And
Ouch,
so yeah,
guys.
he takes her off to a movie, or they
It's date night.
find out about a Zeppelin that's going to be coming by soon. A German Zeppelin, and then they go to a diner afterwards, and the diner is kind of cool looking with the big dog aesthetic outside.
Is it like the dogfight diner or something like that? Because it's all the
Pilot
pilots.
Yeah.
And there's
Yep.
illegal dogfighting in the basement.
Oh, Jesus. Michael fixes that.
And then
No, this was
I saw there was
apparently-
I saw they had toasted sandwiches, so that was probably like a big deal back
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, we love this.
It was just an early quiz news.
Shit, it's in my head all day now.
Yep.
Have
But
them in
yeah,
the
this
back.
was based on a real diner that
Any of those open
from
still?
back in the day.
yeah,
Quiznos?
there's one in Milford.
Okay.
Yeah.
God,
They don't have the big
Don't
oven
tell people
anymore.
where we live.
Like there's just like a little. This is like a little hot plate kind of thing they put
Wait,
it on.
what?
It's
not-
just that sad.
It's scaled back quite a bit.
It's one of
like
the-
a little stall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's run by one of those chinchilla things.
I would go to that.
My partner died.
My master, he
Do you want a toasty sandwich?
whoa, whoa,
Too
whoa.
bad our oven went away.
Yeah, wait.
So it's pretty much just a subway.
It's just a subway now.
Yes! Isn't saying quizzes doesn't have an oven anymore
No,
kind of
it's-
like saying Burger King doesn't have meat anymore?
It's
Like,
the same. It's
It
just
has an
cold
oven,
now.
but it's not like The first oven they had was this giant monster that you saw your sandwich go through, and you watched it transform into something.
And then
amazing.
Subway was like, "Okay, we're going to get one of those in every store." And then Quiznos just shut down nationwide.
But like now, you go in there, and it's just like this little tiny thing that they just like slide
It's
it
just
through.
a toaster oven.
Yeah,
It's a
just put it out
college
back in the
dorm
sun.
toaster oven.
it's like a toaster oven that has a door on both sides, kind of.
Because they used to have the furnace from Home Alone. And
Yeah.
that's what you want.
Yeah.
Did you want pickles?
No, I want my sub to go in some big scary, like this might kill me contraption.
Oh, okay. That's good because we are out of pickles.
All right, stop.
Anyway, so like,
Oh man, toasted sandwiches.
this guy, what's his name, Malcolm or whatever his name is.
Yeah, whatever.
Sad.
Yeah, this guy that he's just there to fuck things up. Like spills the beans that like there's a big plane crash today. So Jenny's all pissed because like he didn't tell her, and he was like, "I was gonna," and she's like,
Eventually.
"I'm gonna storm off." And
And he was like pissed that she wasn't there because she was doing like a casting call.
yeah. So I liked though that he tried to go after her after the diner owner was like, "Go after her, you fool." And she just jumped on the first random bus full of strangers.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like
Different time back then.
going. It was still like rolling as she was like getting in. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, in all fairness, I'm sure the entire town knew the entire town.
yeah.
Mhm.
But still,
But-
like, she got off just before they, entered Texas Chainsaw Massacre territory, you know?
Minor fat chat salute though.
Geen
He carried his
Farms.
burger out with him.
Yeah.
Didn't put that down. And then he's like, "All right, well, I'm going to go back and finish this."
Yeah.
Went back in.
That's a good looking burger. Right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I paid for the extra 2 cents to get it toasted.
Yeah, that's,
Something to
that
wash it down.
chinchilla died so I could have this
Yeah.
toasted.
You had to pay extra to get the hamburger cooked?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the sloppy joes, raw sloppy joes.
Oh.
Was the depression?
It's true.
So now, we see Alan Arkin. Like, we go back to Alan Arkin's house, Peavy's house, and he's
His name's Peabody, right? That's his full name, I believe.
I
Yes.
guess. I don't
Yes,
know.
it
They
is.
just call him Peavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the paperwork later was signed like E. Peabody or something.
Yeah.
So you see, he's at this point he's just taken a hacksaw to a radio, and you're not sure why. But those of you who have seen,
I knew
I
why.
guess if you've seen any like trailer for the movie or whatever, you're like, "Oh, that's going to be the helmet." Back when you think this is going to be something cool. So now we cut to
Yikes!
we cut to the Laughing Bandit. This filming of the set of the Laughing Bandit,
Yeah.
and Timothy Dalton is just.
Loving it.
He's Errol Flynning all over this
Oh, yeah.
place. He's actually stabbing people.
Well, he's not doing that just
Yeah.
yet, but.
Cutting down chandeliers, swinging on
And
things.
was anyone else reminded of the Princess Bride?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's part of the.
That's probably the idea.
yeah.
He's like, "Ha,
Yeah, it's all kind of that same sort of feel.
back,
yeah.
you fiend!" Whoa.
And I could be wrong, but the guy he's fighting, he's like, "I don't want to sully my blade with you," or something, when he had a chance to kill the guy. So then he kicks the sword back into the guy's hand, and then like 2 moves later just kills the guy. And you're like, "Wait, what was the point of that?"
I think so.
Like he had disarmed him and then gave him his sword back just to kill him again.
Fill
yeah,
time.
you can't
Oh.
kill him when he's unarmed.
Yeah, I think that's
That's-
kind of the. It's more.
But you disarmed him. Like, I don't know.
That's not good filmmaking.
Yeah. And then, so there's this actress there who's playing the princess or whatever, and
This
just
bitch.
fucks up the line real
So
bad.
this would get made me a little upset because maybe I just interpreted it wrong. But I thought Jenny had told what's name that she had that part,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she lied to him. Yeah.
but
Did
instead
she?
because that was the line she told him that she had. But instead, she was the background person.
Unless maybe she just said that she read for the part and did a really good job.
And like that's why whatever what's the main character's name? I fucking forgot.
Billy
Cliff.
Cliff. That's why
God damn it.
Cliff shows up to the set to see her
In
do
this role.
this.
Yeah.
Because she said
That makes sense.
that she had a part with lines this time, and that was a line she said that was her line.
I do think, like Joe said, it was a thing where she said she was auditioning for the part and she did really well, so she thought she had it. But That's not super clear.
Yeah. So,
I'm not
But
gonna
either way,
rewatch it.
like, he's an asshole because he goes he starts fucking with the set or whatever. Like, he's just like,
He wasn't fucking with a
he
set.
wasn't fucking with it,
doesn't
but he
even-
touched it or whatever. And the wall starts
Poorly
coming
built,
down.
built set.
Yeah. But the wall starts coming down and he just stands there like an ass. Like,
well, just in those days, I love how you can just wander on a set.
yeah.
Mhm.
And like, yeah, he just knocks a wall down on top of Mr. Sinclair here, and he's just like, "Is Jenny here?"
Yeah. Anybody seen Jenny?
Yeah, and then
Johnny,
fucking-
is that you?
And I'm sorry, I just killed your main star.
yeah, and like the guy playing the villain is like, "Yo, you actually just stabbed me."
Yeah.
It's like all this other craziness is happening with the
Oh,
set. This
no.
guy's like, I've actually been stabbed over here.
Oh no, I killed the movie star again.
Here's a coupon for my Bubba Gump Shrimp Company restaurant. You could get yourself a food there.
What that reminded me of, though, is the going back to The Princess Bride. That scene at the end with Inigo Montoya kills Count Rugen. Mandy Patinkin playing Inigo Montoya actually stabbed Christopher Guest on an earlier take. So, like in that last part where, like, he really does look afraid when when Inigo Montoya is powering up at the end. He's just like, this guy might kill me.
Whoops.
He don't like when you call him Prince Humperdinck in person. He don't like that.
No, that was Count Rugen.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I forget the
The
actor
six-fingered
that
man.
played. That played Count Prince Humperdinck.
Have you tried that?
Oh no, he shopped so he's
Yeah.
where he's working. So he's working, and some crew member said he got real pissed off.
Did you follow him around like Humperdinck, Humperdinck, Humperdinck? Humperdinck.
He got real mad.
Just like treat him very nicely until he's just about to leave and be like, bye, Humperdinck.
As you wish.
He got real mad.
So what the hell? Oh yeah, so basically Sinclair's like, all right, find whoever that Jenny woman is and have her fired forever. And so they do. And then she meanwhile is talking to Cliff, who's like, I found this crazy jetpack thing. It's super awesome.
And Sinclair hears it.
Yeah.
Wait, also, yeah, Sinclair does hear this, but while he's saying this, she's like, I told you to only tell me about the important stuff.
Yeah.
Like, he found a giant jetpack he's strapping to his back to fly around.
Yeah.
What more important do you want?
Is it going to put food on the table?
It might kill him.
Yeah.
That's pretty important.
It put a plane in their hangar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if it falls in the wrong hands, apparently it might end the world race.
It's true. There's
Like-
that.
All right. So Sinclair's
interesting.
suddenly like, he overhears that. He's like, all right, I got my play. It's all going to revolve around this Jenny woman. He's like, you are unfired forever. You got the princess part, and we're going to go to dinner.
Come back to my casting room real quick.
Yeah.
Well, I love the part when he's like trying to cross the room to get to her. He's just like pushing random like
Oh yeah, he
people
shoves
out
a
of the
bunch of
way.
people out of the way to get to her.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. He like knocks a bunch of shit over. So now we cut to,
And I gotta say, like, I mean, it's not really her fault that she was so easily swayed by him to go to dinner, but like, this motherfucker had nothing but seduction in his eyes. Like, you know his intent.
I mean, it's the 30s.
But she was mad at Cliff, so I think it was probably
Yeah.
what she said.
I mean, it's still
That might
like
be-
fucking leading man actor guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's like
think
this will
there's-
help my
yeah.
career and it'll give.
Yeah, she's like,
Make
I
him
might get a
jealous.
job that's not in the homemaking field.
Well, yeah, like, this could further my career. He wants me to have a nice job. He's an actor I respect, and we're going to the club I always want to. She's not thinking, oh, he's going to chloroform me and take me back to his
Yeah.
house
Andy's a
later.
secret Nazi.
Which of course he will.
Jan from The Office works there.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
So, yeah, now we cut to the air show that Cliff is supposed to attend as one of the clowns. And he's like 2 minutes late. So this useless guy, Malcolm, who's selling programs is like, I'm going to save his job. I'm going to dress up like a clown and get in the plane.
Mm-hmm. How did he get the clown makeup on so fast?
real fast.
Yeah.
It's like he had a shotgun full of clown makeup.
He's experienced at this.
Yeah, well, he's been practicing holding a shotgun.
He was
to
the
his
clown
face
before
Yeah.
for a
Cliff showed
while
up.
now.
Or maybe he's Jack Napier and he just
Yeah,
Yeah.
freaking Joaquin
wiped
Phoenix.
the normal.
What do you think
makeup
this
off.
is?
My day has come.
His flop sweat took the normal skin off.
Yeah.
What's funny is he looks like from King of the Hill, Hank's friend.
Oh, Bill,
Yeah, he looks
Bill
like Bill.
Dotree.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah.
Similar sad person, I think.
Also, did we ever cover? Is he a pilot?
Well,
he
he's telling
was-
that story about
Yeah.
fighting against the Red
Oh,
Baron.
right. Okay.
So it's
he
probably one of
is-
those things where he
right.
was like,
Although he was describing,
he was in World War One,
No.
but it never, probably never saw
It
action.
was just a pizza.
The
It was
Baron-
coming right at me.
There was this
Baron
one time the
pizza.
Baron almost took me down. I was on the toilet all night.
I got him.
And then they threw me out of the grocery store.
They closed the store and left him in the bathroom.
Oh man, that was good.
So now the plane immediately just fails, starts fucking up.
Well, yeah,
So
the plane
It
was
shows
all
him in the
jacked
clown
up to begin
makeup.
with.
Yeah.
It's just sad.
Yeah, it's the
And
They
saddest
did
thing.
say like this plane is held together by like duct tape and a prayer. So.
And duct tape hasn't been invented yet.
Yeah. Hey, can we just briefly talk about the control stick in this plane?
Oh, I was going to bring it up.
Please do.
Because, Bigelow's like, that plane's not doing what it's supposed to do. And Cliff's like, it's my time. Let's get this jetpack on. Let's do this. I have no idea how this is going to help.
Yeah, what was
Let's
his
do
plan?
this.
Like what?
So,
Was on jetpack and
yeah.
he flies up.
Yep.
I mean, it's cool looking. I mean, in 1993, the year before this movie
Yeah.
came out, it would look real cool.
They meant well.
Yeah, but it's pretty bad specs. It's kind of a
Special
shame.
effects do not hold up.
Yeah,
And
like,
is it,
at all.
what was the budget on this? 35?
Yeah.
Timothy Dalton got like 34.5.
34.8. 35 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
Timothy Dalton got 15 million. Jennifer Connelly got 15 million, and they spent 5 million on the rest of the movie.
There's no way she got the same that he got.
No, yeah, no.
This is 1990 something.
Yeah. He's like, I'm James Bond. Give me the money.
But that's what I'm saying. Like he was past James Bond.
Yeah.
She was, she was coming up.
She just did Labyrinth.
Yeah, it was a little past Labyrinth.
Yeah. So, either way, all right.
Been in some things.
He's like, I gotta talk to freaking Malcolm. I got it. Just gonna ram my head through the floor of the plane.
Mm-hmm.
So Malcolm, like,
Has a heart attack.
yeah, he should. Because this weird ass alien looking helmet thing just crashes through the fuselage of the plane.
But I said while watching that, this was a nightmare on either end. Like, on his end, some strange creature just smashes the bottom of this plane I can't control. And on Cliff's end, he's now looking up the bad end of this fat dude.
Fat clown.
makeup, yeah.
And, like
Crying,
any
pissing
control
himself.
lever thing in any of these movies ever, it immediately dislodges.
Yes.
And Malcolm punches himself in the face with it.
So it's
and
never
knocks
attached to
himself out.
anything.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably actually what happened. It probably just was never attached.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, fuck, what am I going to do now? And we get into one of those long sequences where he's trying to like wake Malcolm up, get him to pull the plane up or whatever. And he ultimately just yanks him out of the plane with the jetpack and flies him over to a big old airbag and drops him in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And Malcolm's just like, oh, that was cool. It's like,
Yeah, I
asshole.
was Not sure
He
where
still
to.
has the throttle stick. The,
Yeah.
the control stick.
The very
in his
phallic plate stick.
And then the plane itself crashes into another Bigelow fuel truck.
Yep, another fuel truck.
Yeah.
They're just laser guided these fuel trucks.
The problem I have with this film is that I believe this is the last time that happens. And I really think they needed to do the
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's a
the, you know,
3-time.
the
play.
coup de
Like, have
grace.
just one more time.
Yeah, like, seriously, just one
The
more.
blimp just
Yeah, the blimp just lands
goes
on
into
it,
like
or-
5.
or Timothy Dalton at the end just lands.
Yeah,
That
would
that's what should have happened.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
All right, so
But we're definitely not done with things exploding.
yeah.
No,
fucking now everyone who was at the air show who thought this was all part of the show, this is the awesomest thing ever, and rightly so. That would have been really cool to see if you were there. So the media goes nuts.
They didn't play Rock You Like a Hurricane.
Scorpions were not invented yet. So then, like, meanwhile, the Rocketeer flies off. He's not called the Rocketeer quite yet. Cliff with the jetpack flies off through the countryside, just randomly fucking shit up.
Yeah.
He's flying through clotheslines. He's flying through cornfields.
I feel like a little kid would find that kind of funny, you know?
Yeah. As for me, I didn't really get it.
It's that part in all of these flying around movies where you figure out how to fly, but you never figure out how to pull up.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Well, it's a cutesy moment, and it's not really amusing me now. But like Will said, as a kid, I'm probably
it's for the kids. Enjoyable. The Nazis are for us, and the field stuff is for the kids.
Well, as an adult, I was just like waiting for that moment where he just like runs into a cow and it just explodes,
or he just breaks his neck.
Oh yeah,
both probably. But like,
hitting a deer with your car.
Has anyone here seen The Boys?
No, not yet.
His girlfriend, just want that moment.
Oh yeah.
So, two interesting things happen now. So this jetpack that easily outpaces aircraft, he's just immediately caught up to by PV in the pickup truck. It's
right,
like immediately right there to pick him up. And I understand they got to save time, but it's just like, how the fuck did you close that distance that quick?
You know, Joe, they don't. Go ahead, Will.
It almost make more sense if there was just like, you know, the scene with like nighttime and he was just like walking back to the airfield.
Yeah. I mean,
tail between his legs.
They just don't. They don't make them like they used to.
Yeah,
trucks
back
were just,
in my day.
Trucks were just made better back then.
Yeah.
I mean, a simple fix would have been if before he crashed, it showed him crash near them.
Yeah, like he turned back around or something.
Like, and then it's like, oh, they got here because he literally just crashed like one field.
That's probably what they're kind of going for because like he's whipping around, so who knows what direction he's in at any point. So he probably was headed back at some time.
So, also though, the mobsters. Mr. Valentine's goons were also looking for the jetpack at this point. So they saw it flying around. They're like, all right, let's go get that shit. So they're coming. And at this point now, of course, the pickup truck, after driving at jet speeds, can't start. So Rocketeer's like, I got this. And he does a fucking like, that classic rocket car myth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like gets on the back of the pickup truck and pushes with the jetpack, and the truck just goes rocketing across the field as it would do.
Now, did they bust that in MythBusters?
No, actually.
I mean, it seems like because they have rocket cars. It seems like
if you build it right, like you can, like they got it to go like the rocket speeds and whatnot, and it actually. Doing it on a salt flat, they got it to go so fast that the helicopter they were chasing it with the remote control, it just blew past that, and it got out of the remote control range. But because they just did it on the salt flats where it was just, it couldn't go anywhere where there were bumps or anything, so it just petered out. So they did a different episode where they were going to have it go off a ramp, but the rockets they used were faultily built, and it hit the ramp and just blew up right on the ramp.
Jesus.
Nice.
Yeah,
Buster was killed.
Yeah, one of the many times
he took
Buster was killed.
He did a Timothy Dalton.
So the funny thing with that though is that was the first episode of MythBusters, the first rocket truck. I mean, it was the pilot or rocket car, and so when they were going to do it again, they were like, "Don't we just have the rocket car lying around?" And Jamie was like, "I didn't think MythBusters was going to go anywhere, so I sold it."
Really? Wow, I don't remember that. Dang.
That's great.
So anyway, now
is it date night time?
No, now they cut back to Bigelow. The newspapers all like, oh, holy crap, what's that? It's Rocket Man. They're like, Rocket Man name sucks.
What do we call this masked man?
Yeah.
Man Iron?
Call him the Rocketeer. They're like, oh, I love that name so much.
Yeah.
And then Bigelow gets folded in half.
Yeah.
Like the feds come to see him because they're like, oh, all right, well, that guy knows about the jetpack. And it's too late. He's been folded in half.
Which is subtle because you barely notice his foot by his ear.
Yeah, that's a good way to
I'm
do
sure
that.
I'm sure there were probably like more shots of it. They probably had like a dummy or something.
Dick in his mouth.
I want to see exactly how,
But it was yours.
what part of him broke, because he was a man of substantial carriage.
Yeah.
Lothar would have had to work to do that, and
But this is his signature move. Like that's fucking rough.
You pull the legs around the arms, and then you pull the fupa through the crotch area.
so a fupa should give you some pretty substantial protection against being folded.
That's why I
Does
try
he
and
kill
keep
him
mine-
first and fold him, or is folding what killed him?
Yeah, I'm thinking he grabs the legs, breaks them in part like a wishbone, and then pulls them up on the side.
That's
Whoa,
true.
damn.
That'll
Rips
bypass
his
the
scrot.
fupa.
Yeah, rips from the scrot up.
Yeah, and that maximizes groin trauma. That's good
That's
call,
the
Tony.
And
goal.
you want to
Lothar,
do
maximum
that.
growing trauma.
Yeah,
They don't
plus,
mention that in the
Have
movie.
you seen that man's face?
Yeah.
That is his goal.
once you get them kind of wishbone style, then Bigelow's substantial carriage, gravity will help you because it'll go down while the legs snap up. So yeah, it'll kind of like the thing that rips the cork out of the wine bottle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the thing going down is his.
It's called Taco Bell.
So
That's the
Either way.
champagne bottle. I apologize.
It's called the Red Baron.
all right.
I'm glad we took
So,
time to analyze that. That was great.
Now, basically from the they find that like a notepad that Bigelow was holding that he wrote like an address down on, and so
He pressed down hard as fuck.
He did.
Well, he was getting his scrotum ripped in half.
Yeah, I do believe this was written while he was being ripped in half. So.
He's also got really fat hands.
Yeah. I imagine like Lothar was like, you got till the time where your legs fold up to your shoulders to write down an address. So the FBI finds like the impression in the paper. So they're on their way to that address, but Lothar's there first. And you just get a weird ass fight where he's fighting Alan Arkin and
Both will
Billy.
be dead.
All of this is bizarre.
It's basically he's playing the Il Duce from the Boondock Saints.
Kinda. But Alan Arkin's doing up his own blueprints. He's got this is how this thing works. This is how I can improve it.
It was never opened. It's still
Yes.
sealed.
Yeah.
I'm like, how'd you figure that out?
Yeah,
Never opened.
that's
it.
one
Whatever.
thing. So I don't get that. But then he's like, "Oh, I hear some noise outside. I better hide this." So he just throws a lampshade on it and fools
It
everybody.
fucking worked.
It works.
Yeah.
It totally works.
Everybody.
Yep.
Then El Duce here.
So bad.
Yeah.
He comes in the back door. Cliff shows up at the front door. He hears all this commotion and never goes around out back or anything. Just keeps pounding on the door.
You know what they say? Tall people are real dumb.
Okay. But then he lets Cliff in.
I'm not biting on that. I'm not.
Yeah. They get into this big fight, and the FBI shows up and then just opens fire on the
Yeah.
Well, an agent comes up to the door, and as an extra fuck you, this movie has Lothar draw 2 pistols.
They're in his pants pockets.
Yeah. Well, when you're that size, they can just fit in there.
I
But-
understand they
holsters.
fit. I'm saying they fit, but
He had holsters.
Yeah, he had holsters.
Yeah.
maximum
So either way-
crotch trauma.
Yeah, so the FBI, which granted, this is kind of how they acted back then. There's just all right, well, he shot a bullet at us, so fire 5,000 bullets at that.
Destroy the whole house.
I
guess.
will say, he did straight up kill a dude.
That's true. He did.
There was that one guy that was unfortunately right in front of the door. Never do that, folks.
Yeah, but that was the red shirt they brought.
They had
Oh, yeah.
50 officers with Tommy guns. Fired so many
yeah,
bullets at this house.
It was fun.
It was worse than Swiss cheese.
Yeah, this house off.
Well, but at this time period, look what happened to Bonnie and Clyde. That's just how they roll.
That's what it's LAPD from back
Yeah.
in the day. That's what they did.
Yeah, sadly,
It's still
they don't have
that's what
Tommy
they do,
guns
yeah.
anymore, but that's pretty much still what they do in a lot of cases. So anyway, the FBI fires. It's 50 cops, 100 round drums, and the Tommy gun, 5,000 bullets. Doesn't hit anybody.
No,
Doesn't hit this giant German mountain of a man.
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
He shot his hat off.
It did shoot
shoot his hat off.
Yep. And
That happens several times in this film.
and he makes sure to grab it.
Yep.
Yeah, you gotta look smooth.
Lothar's
Well, I
hat's
mean-
important.
He's a Bond villain henchman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
All right.
everyone just runs out of here, and nobody in the FBI is guarding the back,
No.
which
You don't do
I
that.
think is because they knew they were going to fire 5,000 bullets through the house.
Yeah.
That could be.
Maybe. But still, you should at least have someone watching the back door. So now we cut
That's
to
my motto.
Yeah. So now we cut to Jenny going on a date with Sinclair
Yep.
at this club. It's a classy joint. You
Mhm.
got
It
some
is.
dude with clarinet.
It's at this point that,
Mhm.
honey, if you're listening, I would suggest earmuffs.
She's asleep.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Jenny's got some boobs.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, the movie does not shy away from that.
They fucking zoom in on him.
Yeah.
The club owner says
WC Fields.
Yeah,
Yes.
what the hell is WC Field? He's just like, he walks up and the camera just pans right on her tits for a little while.
Because they're
Yeah.
showing what he's.
I mean, he was
Looking at
he
it.
was a
That's the-
known like creeper.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that was the point. He was like, what was the line? I'm impressed. And then he looks at her chest and goes, doubly impressed or
Yeah.
something.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Oh, yeah, there was something like
It said
that.
doubly something. man.
Yeah.
I could stare into your
Yeah.
eyes all evening.
And then
She's tracts of land.
Yeah, she's looking at Sinclair like, who's this weirdo? And then Cliff Howard fucking shows up and summons
yeah, Clint
Sinclair
Howard.
away.
I miss Clint Howard, and then
And I'm just like, what the fuck? So then W.C. Fields just jumps in Sinclair's seat and he's like, now my little kumquat. Tell me your entire life story.
Well, yeah, I was like, I inherited this date somehow? Like, what the hell?
if watermelons are made of water, what are kumquats made of?
So yeah,
Well, I can stick my nose.
Evil Villain Club has to have a little meeting. And this one's funny because like Sinclair's motives with Jenny are a little weird because he's definitely like, I want to do evil and I want that jetpack, but I want to hit that.
But damn them tits.
Because
She's very attractive.
yeah, because Valentine's just like, yo, I'll just go fuck her up right now. We'll
Yeah.
find out the answer in like
Don't
2
say that.
minutes.
He does.
Like, my guys will just beat her up, and he's like, no. I'm taking her on this
like,
date.
And I'll admit,
Hey, you see them titties? We're doing
Yeah.
this my way.
this is where I did get a little confused because, like, it's like everybody's going on this madcap chase, and ultimately, I'm jumping ahead for this, but ultimately, it all comes down to we need to get Jenny. But it's also like Jenny is with the lead villain here, so like somebody just needs to talk to somebody or something. I don't know.
This is one of those plots that a cell phone.
Well,
would've just
that's. I
solved
suppose
everything.
that's.
Yeah. Because meanwhile, some other mobsters show up at the dogfight diner, like trash the place and
That's a fat chat foul.
Yeah, they're
oh,
being
yeah.
jerks,
No.
man.
Pushing those
No.
pies,
For
breaking
no
that.
pie.
reason.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, that pie didn't hurt anybody.
no. And if you're
Well-
going to rough up a diner, you don't start with the pie rack. That's like
No.
starting with the thumb.
If we were there,
Yeah.
we would have cried a lot, probably.
lot, yeah.
I guess.
Hold up.
And he starts making kissy faces at the like old
Yeah.
waitress. Like, man, come on.
Yeah, like you shoot up like the orange juice machine or something.
don't
like
kink
that,
shame him.
just to show him that you mean business. Then you threaten the pies.
But also,
Right.
I mean, I know Brian mentioned it, but I was thinking it too. It's like, this is the worst alter ego, even more so than Superman. Because, like, he's wearing the same fucking outfit.
yeah, he's wearing the costume.
The entire movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, wait, no, I unbuttoned that one thing on my jacket
Yeah.
and let it flop
Okay,
down. Now
but
no one can recognize
At
me.
the same time, though, it's 1938. There's only like 6 outfits.
And the pictures are
Just-
quite
he-
blurry.
Yeah, he is wearing the adventurer outfit.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair, I guess.
But he's the only one in the entire movie wearing it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
those
that's
other
true.
schlubs in the diner are just wearing like work shirts and overalls and suspenders.
Mhm.
But yeah, it takes them so long to piece this together.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
no one knows what he looks like. So then,
So he put fucking Jenny's picture on the wall, and so the mobsters just
I
put
mean,
everything together. They're
would
just
you?
like, oh,
He also
okay.
apparently wrote for a good time call and left her actual
Yeah.
number. Like, what the hell?
Is that what he wrote?
He put her. Well,
her number was there.
He
put her number
her
there,
name
yeah.
with a heart on it and her phone number.
That's weird.
So I
back
wouldn't
in the
forget.
days where you could just do that, and someone would be like, "Oh, that's not my girl. I guess I won't call."
Yeah, I guess maybe this was supposed to be like maybe when they first met. That was him getting her number. I don't know.
I think maybe this is back in the time where you just called a girl and asked for a date. Like,
I guarantee you.
whatever. But
will
like,
you go
at
to
least-
a hot dog social with me?
This was the phone where he was.
We can roast
Will
weenies.
you stand in line for the gruel
We
with
can
me?
drink Cokes and roast
I
weenies.
guarantee you, at least once a fortnight, Jenny receives a call from Malcolm, just him
Crying.
just him breathing and crying.
Ring,
No
ring,
words.
ring.
No. In all fairness, it was like a boarding house, so any
Yeah.
girl can answer that phone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
he
true.
He would just start breathing whoever
Yeah.
answers the
Oh
phone.
yeah.
Ring, ring,
And you
ring.
hear like a like the honk noise, like honk, honk from the clown.
Yeah,
Do you like toasted sandwiches?
and
We're
regardless
about
of
to
whether
close.
or not the
Please
girl is listening to it, it will go until that other little girl in the diner catches Malcolm and makes him hang up.
Sometimes it was a boarding house owner, and she would just breathe back in him.
Yeah,
Do you like
they would both almost talk to each
They
other.
had a little tryst.
Yeah.
put lettuce on your sandwich?
Do you want to
It's
hear
all
about
wilted.
when I fought the Red Bear?
It was 3 meat supreme.
And the Kaiser roll.
I had 5 kinds of cheese.
So yeah, he's like,
Crazy back
Cliff's
then.
like, I gotta get to the diner. I'll just beat the shit out of these 2 mobsters, and he like punches one up, and then the rest of the diner just beats the other guy up.
Yeah.
And then so like a bullet does get fired though, and it hits the jetpack which is being stored above the diner.
There are laser guided engines.
Yeah, well, no, because it survived the entire FBI house attack.
Yep.
True.
So yeah, it's leaking some fuel. So he's like, I need to go get Jenny now. And so PV's like, all right, quick fix, bubble gum, plug the hole.
Now, because his signature thing is Cliff always put a piece of gum on where he was flying for
Yeah.
good luck. So he put a piece on the back of the rocket pack, so it was there, and
So yeah, when he puts that gum over the hole, you're just like, that's going to be important later.
Yeah.
And
Also, that's stupid now.
yes,
But, yeah, whatever.
A little bit.
so
That's
he
back when
goes-
gum was made out of like all kinds of crazy fucking
it was just straight rubber.
cement.
Yeah, it was just gum.
Here's some rubber with some sugar on it.
Flavored
gum.
rubber.
and he just goes launching off after Jenny, and he goes and immediately like doesn't make like a cool Rocketeer entrance or whatever. He just sneaks into the place and puts a waiter jacket over his.
He hides the thing.
This will
and-
come up later,
Yeah.
but again, he
Yeah.
removes the costume.
Yeah.
Yeah, takes the helmet and the jacket or the jetpack off and puts it in a trash can.
Mhm.
Like you realize everyone's looking for this shit. Right?
So, meanwhile, like while this is happening, like Sinclair is like putting the seduction card on Jenny pretty hard. And
It's working.
Cliff sees the 2 of them, and he's like, "All right, I got my play. I'm gonna get some soup somehow. Come over as a waiter, spill the soup everywhere, leave Jenny a secret message to meet him at the plant or whatever."
Big fish.
Big fish. That's true. Yeah. And then he just like she's still not sure if she wants to do that or not, even though she could clearly see it's Cliff. But she's like, I'm having a good time with Sinclair.
Yeah.
So Cliff forces the issue by just dumping champagne on her. And then she goes off to take care of that. And she goes over by a potted plant, and he just abducts her into it.
He pulls my famous move where I dump a glass of champagne on somebody and say, man, we got to get you out of those wet clothes.
Yeah. And then
Classic.
you proceed to hide with yourself and her inside a potted plant.
That's right. And then the chloroform.
And then the chloroform.
I saw a YouTube video of a guy who's like wanted to test if chloroform worked, and I'm hoping it was real because it was great. But it was like he did it on a rag and held it, and it was like, oh, this isn't working. And like he didn't even finish the sentence and fell and like hit his head on the chest of drawers. It was right there.
I like how he took no precautions.
Yeah, of course not.
It's like, why do it sitting down? That would be just stupid.
Yeah.
All right, so
Where does one even get chloroform?
yeah, he's like, all right, Jenny, just get out of here.
That's a good question.
So go to your mother's or something. And Jenny's like, I can do it. And goes off and immediately doesn't do it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Well, like it's not immediate. So
She
at
thinks
this point,
that.
shit starts happening, right?
yeah.
He gets found out. He's being chased around the club. Puts his suit back on. Fire on the club. Shit's happening. People start running the fuck out. Then she's like, I gotta go back in there. Like, that's the point in all of them like movies where you hear noise in the basement and like a normal person would just like leave. Like him out. Like, you know,
Yeah.
that was an obviously scary noise. Something's fucked up. I'm just
Sounds
gonna
like
go.
someone was just murdered in my basement.
Yeah.
But
Let me get out of the house.
Some
But
dumb
some-
white person is.
See, I wasn't trying to say it. Thank you,
I know what you're saying because it's the same dumb person every time.
Let me go downstairs and check.
Some
With
dumbass
my
white dude
flashlight.
or white girl, both wearing a button-down shirt for some reason, with a collar, always going down there like, what is this noise? It's not even. They don't never even have like a proper flashlight. It's either like, oh, I'll use the flashlight on my phone, or just no flashlight.
It's like,
or,
oh, the lights aren't working.
yeah.
Let's go.
I guess I'll just use a candle and just soldier on. I guess.
Or a match. Fuck anybody that does
yeah.
it with a match, you so deserve to die.
Like you just shoot yourself at the top of the stairs and do everybody a favor.
Like, that's how dumb she is. Like, people are stampeding out.
Yes, I was just gonna say I will one up you on that because this isn't just I heard a noise from the basement. Let me check that out. This is people are running out of there saying, "Oh my god, things are going crazy. We need to leave."
Oh my god! Look at her butt.
Yeah.
It's
And
so
she was like,
big.
Becky, I need to look at that butt apparently because she goes back in.
Now, it's one moment where like she does quote unquote help him because she hits Lothar with a vase,
Statue
Yeah.
or something? I don't
which
know.
he got hit in the face with one and didn't affect him, but some reason that affected him. But whatever.
Well, I guess the 12th one will do
Yeah,
it.
whatever.
That's-
But yeah, she had no reason like to go back in there like at all.
I also love like this whole scene is just done like a bad play because it's the Rocketeer flying around. And people can't see the air quotes, but it's it's clearly like the dude on strings being hung from the ceiling. But like while he's doing it, he's just swinging back and forth, like setting fire to everything, knocking shit
he's
down.
just
So
floating
one,
around.
one
It
part where
looks-
he's on like the dining cart and it just like smashes into
I
the
made
wall.
this
Rides
joke
an
when we
ice
were
sculpture.
watching it. He looks like Slimer from the
Yeah.
ballroom scene in Ghostbusters.
So
I was saying he looks like Spider-Man from Turn Off the Dark.
So this is a superhero movie. I think like one of the big problems of this movie. It's a superhero movie about someone who's not a superhero. Because in this scene, this is the part where the superhero would do his big heroic things and like take care of all the villains and whatnot, and he's just floating around like I can't really control this.
That's the thing. I never saw this movie as a superhero movie.
Yeah,
Like, because he never really is a superhero. Like he has a couple scenes where like he does something cool with the
Well,
jetpack,
see-
but most of it's him not in the jetpack.
well, no, but it's a man getting a power of
The
flight.
power of jetpack.
But
Okay.
he doesn't get like any of the other like when you become a superhero suddenly it's like cool like martial arts and flippy do shit and like you're like way stronger and you're immune to explosions and all that, and he doesn't get any of those
None of
powers,
that,
Yeah.
which is like how it is in real life. But it's weird in a movie where you're just like, okay, you're just flying around.
Yeah, and he never really.
That's it.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
like. I will give him. Yeah, it's not really a superhero thing. He's more in line with like a Indiana Jones than like Captain America or something. But even Indiana Jones like tends to have like some kind of plan, something he's working
Yeah.
towards. More or less.
Well, Indiana Jones is a good improviser.
yeah,
he gets beat up a lot.
Maybe it's not a plan. Yeah, and he gets beat up a lot, but he's always like kind of doing things. The Rocketeer kind of just mills
Things
about a
happen.
lot.
So
Yeah,
here's
things
the
happen.
thing. I think they're pretty much interchangeable, save for the fact, and it's the most important fact, Indiana Jones has charisma.
Chutzpah.
Yeah.
Well, there is that, but I mean, like,
And a
also,
Yeah, and a whip.
again, even without the charisma, I mean, that helps a lot. It makes it far more entertaining. But, like, he's still always doing something.
Well,
the Rocketeer is just kind of like,
well,
oh,
right.
people
Also,
are trying to
though,
kill me.
Big
Guess I should
difference.
leave?
The Rocketeer is a man that discovers a way to become an adventurer, but is not inherently an adventurer himself. He's like a daredevil, but he's not an adventurer.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana Jones is a straight up adventurer. He has that full skill set,
That's
like
fair.
from the get go.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Don't forget, Raiders of the Lost Ark happens the exact same way with or without Indy.
That's true.
He does
Pretty
nothing.
much,
He does
yeah.
nothing in the
In
movie.
the end, he really doesn't.
Nothing.
For a
Well,
second.
no, I think the Nazis wouldn't have found the Ark, right? Because they were digging in
Nope,
the wrong spot.
they already had all the stuff. They would have found it eventually.
Yeah,
And then the end would have been
They
the
just
same-
didn't know
same
how to
thing.
use it correctly, right?
The end
Yeah.
would have been the same as that ending.
Yeah.
They didn't have the medallion. Wait, no, the medallion.
Yeah. Or
The necklace?
Yeah. The
Well, but they were getting it.
They were getting it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
they would have
true.
had it.
That's
They
true.
would've
They
had
would have. They would have gone. Yeah. But
I was trying to think. Yes, say something. I was
But
trying
in
to
the
think what
second
would
one-
Indiana Jones be like with a jetpack, and I'm like, oh yeah, Star-Lord.
yes.
All right. So, did we talk about the chloroform?
Not yet.
Not
It's
yet.
happening right now.
Yeah.
Go.
So Jenny takes care of Lothar with something to the head. That's
Yeah.
Lothar's weakness. You
It's
hit him with
the
some
back of
kinda-
the head, not the front
back
of
of
the
the-
face.
No, yeah. No, that front of the face, there's so much
That's-
armor
that's
on that.
stone,
Like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's the difference.
Oh, okay.
This is Achilles' heel.
Yeah.
Back of the dome.
Mhm.
Yeah, mine too. What a surprise.
Well, no, it's like in the Fallout series. If the guy doesn't know you're there and you shoot him in the head, his skull explodes catastrophically.
I thought the
But
weakness
once-
of the Fallout series was that you pre-ordered it hoping you would get that really nice bag.
No, that's the latest. Actually.
You're thinking of
That's
76.
76.
Yeah.
okay.
But then,
alright.
like, if the guy knows you're there, he takes like 6 or 7 shots to the head, to take down. But you catch him by surprise, his head blows up. It's that same principle. So, yeah, and Jenny's like, I'm doing things. And then Sinclair's comes by with the chloroform rag, and he's like, no, you're not.
I think he says, our date's not over. And then
Yeah.
fucking chloroforms.
Yep.
And like I said while we were watching it, it's old Hollywood. That's what they did.
Mhm.
I kind of knew Hollywood
It's like,
too.
does my pocket square smell weird to you?
So where even are we? Yeah, so the Rocketeer just flies out through the stained glass ceiling thinking that Jenny's already escaped. And Jenny wakes up in Sinclair's mansion and immediately like gets out of the bed, walks over, notices Sinclair like doing like a secret passage from the book you pull, The Adventures of Casanova. And then goes back to the bed and pretends to be asleep when he comes over and gives her the smelling salts. And,
I believe it was the Conquests.
oh,
of
that's
Yeah.
correct. Conquests of Casanova.
So this dude just has chloroform and smelling salts just
And he-
on him.
Oh, this
he's
is
still-
not his first time.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
still
in the
playing this
closet
like
full
he's
of
going to
ladies'
salvage
clothes.
this evening. Like,
Yeah.
like
He's
he's
expecting
like,
things.
I'm not going to take that shit. I want it willingly. And like she's like, what the fuck? Like I can kind of see through all your bullshit now. You chloroformed me.
It's like, where do we go from here?
Well, that's
Yeah.
why I keep like he keeps trying these lines from his
Yeah.
movies, and she keeps saying like, "Oh, that's from this movie," and I keep like wanting at some point for him to be like, "I'm sorry, this usually works on dumber girls." I don't.
Well, in his head, he's looking at her and he's just like, nerd.
Yeah, well, yes.
This is on my home economics final.
Oh, she's fangirling out on me.
So Jenny's like, all right, I got a plan. He's like, why don't you go put the sexy outfit on? And she's like,
I
I'll
was
go
like,
do
Brian said he has that closet just full of
Yeah.
women's clothes
Yeah.
for,
it. And she's
Who doesn't?
what reason?
Yeah.
This reason.
So she's like, why don't you come in here and help me take this off? And he goes and he starts like unzipping her
Like,
dress.
instantly the door was open.
Oh, yeah.
Like cartoonish.
Yeah.
Like,
She's like, hey,
Peppy
can you...
Yeah.
Well, to be fair,
And-
he was just like on the other side, like counting to three 1,000 before he was going to do that anyway.
So, yeah, she just grabs the potted plant. Boom, he's done. So she goes over to the other room, finds the Conquests of Casanova, pulls on the book, gets into the secret passage,
Dun, dun, dun.
and
Secret
like
Nazi.
at this point, you were like, I'm kind of thinking there's like maybe a 50 to 66% chance of Nazis, and you're like, no, 100% chance.
Yeah,
of Nazis. The
100%.
moment she pulls that book.
It's rain and
Yeah.
Nazis. Hallelujah.
And he, yes,
Okay.
of course, the high profile Hollywood actor
Yeah.
is a spy.
Yeah.
Well, you knew from that earlier newsreel like, Nazis were coming
It
back.
had to be Nazis.
Yeah.
Always Nazis.
Yeah.
Why'd
It
it
would
have
have
to
just
be
been
Nazis?
cooler if he was just an eccentric rich guy that just really wanted a jetpack.
It would, but
And he turned to the mob for it.
I mean, I guess. He just,
But
They
he just has a
needed to
blank-
have the Zeppelin.
Yeah, he just
They started
has
with the
a-
Zeppelin, so they're like, how do we retrofit this?
He's just
work
got
our way
it.
backwards.
So, yeah. Of course, at this point, like, Sinclair's back up and Lothar's in there, and they, of course, capture her again.
And he's like, who did you think I was? A spy? A saboteur? A fascist? And she's like, yeah.
Yeah, all those
He's
things.
like, yeah, no, I'm all those.
That's about right.
Yep. So now the FBI comes and gets Cliff back at the diner, and they take him to PV and Howard fucking Hughes just chilling there.
Who's the main character in this movie somehow?
Yeah, Howard Hughes is just hanging out with PV, talking about jetpacks.
More screen
Engineers.
time than in The
Engineers.
Aviator.
Yeah. Fucking,
This is
like,
a prequel to The Aviator.
Yeah.
Before he
Very,
goes all-
very different take on the character than the Aviator. Much less piss, much less seizures,
crinkly hands.
crinkly hands.
Yeah, well,
I haven't
Use
seen
some
that.
John
I
C.
don't-
Riley
I
in
don't know.
there.
Super long.
Yeah.
he doesn't get really
That's
upset until he tries the plane out. It doesn't
Yeah.
work out. He loses, he damages his spine. He can't walk anymore. So, sorry.
Wait, was John C. Riley in The Aviator?
Yeah.
Oh,
He
I
plays
don't know.
like his right-hand man.
Oh, haven't seen that.
I haven't seen that movie. I
Yeah,
don't.
it's just
It's a
really-
biopic.
biopic about a really crazy man.
Yeah.
Howard Hughes was, he had some challenges.
Uh-huh.
So, all right. So, like, they come in and they're like, just give us the jetpack. And he's like, no, I got to save my girl.
No.
And they're like,
We made this awesome animated
Yeah.
feature to let you know why.
yeah, let me show you this straight up, like, Frank Capra propaganda reel.
I thought
of-
the animation for that was really cool. Like,
Mhm.
that could hold up today.
Well, no,
I guess it was only
like, they
93,
nailed
not,
it
not from the
stylized,
30s.
Yeah.
That
But
makes sense.
that's basically like what the propaganda reels looked like. But you see, it's just like they have jetpacks. They win.
Oh yeah, they're
they're
everywhere.
Yep.
Like they jetpack across the ocean.
They could be in your homes, in
Yeah.
your schools.
Just-
It's also a picture.
Nazis in America?
there's
What?
there's no explanation how. So they just they pull
Well,
the,
there's an explanation, Joe. The arrows.
the arrows. Yeah.
jetpack.
Yeah.
It's jetpack.
Jetpacks.
come on.
So yeah.
Come on.
So
But I was also
like,
picturing hearing in my head from Invader Zim, like, why would you draw that?
so they just like play that shit to him like checkmate.
Oh, wait.
He's like, that
First,
didn't change anything. Like,
Get it?
first, we do get to see their test footage of blowing up other men.
yes, true.
It's like a bunch of propane tanks just zip tied together, and they the scientist steps back and just instant death for this guy.
There's one. This is one great series of short videos that Eric showed me once, where it is a man attempting to make a jetpack
Oh jeez.
out of pressurized water
Oh,
in
Lord.
2-liter bottles of soda.
No.
And he doesn't even the first time he fires it up, he just gave it backpack straps, but he never gave it like a belt.
Oh.
So it just fires the whole assembly right into the back of his head and pushes him down onto the ground.
Yikes!
And it never provides enough thrust to do anything but knock him over. At
It's
best.
like we've not invented a jetpack, but we've invented a self donkey punch.
So
Just what the world needed.
donkey punching apparatus. All right, so
See that mist is calling. You put it underwater,
Mhm.
and then you propel underwater with pressurized water and tanks and stuff like that. You know?
Ooh, I like
give
that.
yourself the bends.
You're like Black
Yeah.
Manta.
Yeah.
All right. So Cliff's like, I gotta go save my girl. I gotta go, and punches like one dude.
The same
Same
FBI
dude,
agent.
yeah.
Same FBI guy.
And just jumps out the window. And Howard Hughes is like, "Don't you fire a fucking gun in my hangar."
Mm-hmm.
And like he hops on a model of the Spruce Goose and just flies that out, and it it just flies away into the darkness.
And Howard Hughes is like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
It will fly.
What you call it? They he's like, all right, I got the jetpack. I'm gonna go to the rendezvous. Gonna go meet Sinclair, and he's got Eddie Valentine with him and
Quick
all the
side note.
mobster goons.
Just I love again. They're having this whole argument with him. Like, you need to give us the jetpack. Where's the jetpack? And it's probably like downstairs, like under a blanket.
Yeah.
It's probably in the room with them somewhere.
It might have been.
He's probably wearing it.
He's always. Well, no, 'cause that would have been smarter. He's always taking it off and leaving it in the dumbest places. So
He's just got a
They would
blanket over it.
yeah.
If it was that matter of national security, they'd just be like, "Where's the jetpack?" He's like, "I'm not gonna tell you." Be like, "All right, we're gonna call off a tow, like until we'll just
Thumb
keep
screws.
doing that." Yeah.
Yeah, like, I imagine at one point they would have like, "We need the jetpack. Where is it? Hold him down, Agent Stevens." Agent Stevens, and it's just like the jetpack with the helmet on it and like a coat. Like, what the fuck?
So hey, he flies to the rendezvous point. All the bad guys are there. Lothar's there. Sinclair's there. Valentine's there. They got Jenny. He flies over. Like, all right, give us the jetpack. And Cliff's like, check this out. Speech check. I'm gonna appeal to Valentine's patriotism. Be like that guy's a Nazi. And that was back when like you could throw that shit around and people cared. So like he was like, that's a Nazi. He's like, I might be a 2-bit mobster, but I'm an American.
That's right.
So yeah,
enemy of my enemy.
yeah. So they all
I would
turned
argue
their.
that one still holds true.
Well, you can call someone a Nazi now, but like,
Yeah, I mean, in the age of the internet, pretty much. I mean, I get called a Nazi on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Well,
Because I misnamed a transformer.
yeah. If you're talking in terms of the,
You are a bit of a.
In fairness,
Spoiled
that's
fruit Nazi.
classic fascist behavior.
That is true.
if you're talking about back then, you could say that and it would mean something,
Yeah.
as in they might actually be one.
Yeah,
I'll give
and it carried the
Might
weight.
be one now.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, no, that,
but I mean, like,
Yeah.
but everybody calls everybody that, so like
Yeah.
the chances aren't as good.
yeah, back then it was something that warranted serious
Yeah.
We were having,
consideration.
marches in
Yeah.
Nazis that are actually happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
yep.
Ruining
world's
tiki
messed up.
torches for everybody.
so now,
Can't even have a cookout
Yeah.
anymore.
like, Sinclair's like, you know what? Like one of the first powers you get when you become like Nazi villain, summon commandos,
Yep.
and
Where the fuck?
out of nowhere,
In the shrubberies.
Yeah.
like
Like-
MP40 wielding, like straight up stormtrooping, like
It's like 100 of them.
Yeah.
It's a small town. That's
Yeah.
half the town. Like,
I'm telling you, like, it might have been a deleted scene or something, but like all the trees around this facility, they were just Nazis in disguise.
and then to top it off, the fucking blimp shows
Yeah.
up with the fucking swastikas on the side.
it's like that's the next power you get on the Nazi tech tree is you get to summon a zeppelin.
I guess your air show's pretty popular. The Days Inn is booked for some reason.
And it wasn't like they had hanging a flag off it. The whole rudder section,
Yes.
top and bottom,
Yeah.
was built like the cloth built
The
was
swastika.
a swastika on top and bottom. Like,
Well, in fairness, though, at that point, like there were commercially operated zeppelins that flew around, like that had the swastika right on the side.
Oh, really?
1938, yeah.
And no one questioned that? Like, no one was like,
Well, because they weren't at war yet.
Yeah.
It's kind of like,
Yeah.
okay.
like I said, it was kind of like, oh, look
I
the
don't know,
other one.
people in
It
the
might
know
not
were
be in
like-
38.
Yeah.
So I think they stopped in America after the Hindenburg, and I don't know about when that was, but
Yeah, I don't
in the
remember.
30s, there were commercial flights on zeppelins to America that were just flying a swastika right on the side.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, because the swastika was everywhere back then.
Yeah.
It was like a Nike
that makes more
swoosh.
sense.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, I guess I didn't really piece together that this was like kind of a pre-war time. and
Yeah,
whatever,
where it's like
but-
people in the know knew stuff was up, but the general public was like, we don't want to go to another world
Yeah.
war.
Yeah.
If it were a military craft, it would actually have the cross on it, like the Iron Cross that you normally see on German units. So anyway, it's kind of looks like the West Coast Choppers logo.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah, I'm just going over the like this had to like fly over most of the city.
Yeah.
And no one questioned.
Yeah, Zeppelins don't sneak up anywhere.
Yeah,
They're-
it's not. It's not subtle.
yeah, they're not the easiest thing to stop from getting somewhere, but like you know where it's going.
Can you just shoot it?
Yeah. Well,
Oh yeah, it's real easy to stop, just not in a very peaceful,
so yeah, that's
safe.
that's
manner.
also somewhat of a misnomer because they're all like, "Don't shoot it; it'll catch fire." It's Zeppelins are actually really hard to shoot down unless you have like incendiary ammunition. It's not that easy to ignite the hydrogen. They turned out in World War I to be really hard to stop because they have a whole bunch of small air pockets, so you just poke holes in a few of them, and maybe it flies a little lower. But you had to shoot the shit out of it to get it to fall down, unless you had incendiary bullets, in which case it just goes up like a torch.
Or a jetpack.
Or a jetpack. Yeah.
Motherfucking jetpack.
That's what they'd be good at. Stopping Zeppelin.
There you go.
So anyway,
or a flare gun apparently.
yeah. So this dude summons his stormtroopers, summons his Zeppelin, grabs Jenny, gets out of there. Lothar comes with him. And now the FBI shows up, and this is a big gunfight where no one actually gets shot.
No one.
And there's that kind of
No, because
Maybe a few,
the gangster shoots a couple of dudes like right off
Well,
the
no,
cut.
like nameless people,
Yeah.
like soldiers or whatever.
Yeah,
are
Nazis
getting
get
gunned
shot.
down. Yeah, but
So you
anybody with a name, you're fine.
yeah. You get that weird shot of like the FBI agent and the mobster are both like on the same side shooting Tommy guns at Nazis.
Man,
Like it's amazing how Nazis can bring people together.
yeah. In camps.
Yeah.
oh shit.
Yeah, like
Jesus.
All right.
Wow.
I'm gonna help myself to a Dorito.
Jesus fucking Christ.
yeah. So anyway, so now we get on the Zeppelin and they're like, go save her, Rocketeer. But before you do, make sure you stop by the American flag and pose.
Yeah. And it also looked like he set it on fire when he took off.
I'm so high, I can see him.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing.
I mean, like, I would have liked if he grabbed it
Oh,
and
yeah.
took off with it and just
Yeah.
stabbed it through the shit.
that would have been cool. But no, that dude ran up a huge flight of stairs just to pose by the American flag for a second.
Dude, if that's how they took out Lothar, he just came
Yeah.
flying through and stabbed him with the
that
American
would have
flag.
been so cool.
Hell yeah!
He also,
but
what was it? Did he have a Mauser or a Walter? What was he carrying?
A Luger.
A
Luger?
useless weapon because he
Yeah.
never even got
He
to
never shot it.
Yeah.
Never shot it once.
So he gets on top of the Zeppelin, and then they deploy Lothar up there.
Yeah,
And Lothar hooks himself in, immediately, just knocks the gun out
Yeah.
of his hand.
but not even like intentionally. Like he
Yeah.
opened the door and it knocked the gun out of his hand. He's
Yep.
like, "Oh, well, there goes that."
Tries to take Lothar to Dick Kick City. Ineffective.
Nope.
So he does the whole, Lothar throws him off the side of the Zeppelin. He does the whole, I have a jetpack, rockets around. And the only time the jetpack power seems to be really all that useful is he uses it to give Lothar a good drop kick off the side of the blimp, which causes him to, go over the side and crash into the gondola. And now,
Whoa, wait.
what's that?
He doesn't just crash into the side of the gondola. He crashes through the window,
Yeah.
knocks the pilot.
Oh, that's
out
true.
the
Yeah, he
other
does.
window.
That's right, because they're like, this is the best pilot, the best Zeppelin pilot. Yeah, and it does just propel him right out the window.
And
Right,
and
so maybe it's just me, but it looked to me like they got the wax statue of Lance Henriksen from Madame Tussauds and just hung it from this stupid thing.
Just smash that through a few windows. All right, so now anyone who's not a named character is immediately defenestrated. Like, people are flying out the windows like it's
Yeah.
a fucking battle royal.
The glass is breaking,
Left and right.
Left
if you,
and right.
if you look at it wrong.
Yeah, anyone can throw a Nazi out the window.
Which I love because when we finally get into the fight scene here, and Cliff gets slammed against
Yeah.
the window by
Sinclair.
That's the one window that actually has a bar in the middle, so he doesn't immediately go out. I'm like,
Yeah.
where were all the others? God damn it!
So, yeah, they have a little tussle over Jenny, and Jenny's like, I'm going to help, and gets a flare gun. Fires that at the Zeppelin. Not the best move. That lights the whole thing on fire.
Why? Just why?
Yeah.
Because
So
even if this was just like a normal plane, like you don't want to fire a flare gun off in a plane.
I'm
Yeah.
helping.
and I mean, there's probably guns everywhere in there. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was like there was a whole bunch of soldiers in there. But anyway,
Well, to be fair, they were probably all on the soldiers.
Yeah,
got
that's
thrown out
flew
the
out the
window.
window.
So, yeah.
all right, so Cliff is really not getting how this villain thing works because he's like Sinclair's putting the jetpack on, and Cliff's like, Sinclair, you have to help us put out the flames, and he's just like, no,
Fuck off.
Yeah.
yeah, we're just gonna fly out on the jetpack.
Why would I possibly do
Yeah.
that?
And now, of course, the gum gives way, and it causes.
Well, no.
what's that?
When he had to throw the jetpack to him,
Oh, that's right, yeah.
he released the gum.
Yeah,
The best
so-
part, he gives like the stereotypical villain cackle, like "Take that, Rocketeer," and then just immediately is engulfed. In
And you
flames.
get some special effects.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, you
boy.
couldn't just take a dummy, light it on fire, and throw it off something tall.
That would have been
Like,
amazing.
Way better. Way better.
Dummy in a suit.
I would have enjoyed
Like,
that. Yes.
No, you get fucking Timothy Dalton with fire drawn over him.
Oh my god.
No, but like
Oh
you
my
said earlier,
God.
this should have been the jetpack starts catching fire. He's out of control. Sam's into a gasoline tanker.
Yeah.
And then your third tanker, third explosion for that.
Yeah.
And like, boom, done.
No, but instead he crashes into the Hollywood land sign and blows land up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bit of a.
For
Yeah.
it's like you see that in movies too many times.
I just love the. This is straight up like he's being drugged to hell. Like it's terrible.
Pinhead's there.
Man.
Chubbers McGee.
It's straight out of Drag Me to Hell. Just
So now they get back to the top of the blimp, and Lothar's back, and he's like, "I got a knife, I'll cut you." And they're like, "Dude, the whole fucking
Yeah.
blimp's burning down."
Got a memo for you.
Yeah.
He should have cut himself loose.
Yeah,
For real.
And then here's the part where I lost my shit.
no, really.
Howard Hughes flies by
Oh yeah.
without Arkin on a fucking helicopter, like
Da Vinci's.
like a what would have been war-winning technology, this huge like this major important invention, and they're all obsessing over jetpacks when he had the whole time he had a fucking helicopter,
Like an
which
actual
would have
practical.
been way more important. Like, I know jetpacks are cool, but like that, why were they not going after the helicopter design? I'm like, that makes no
not as
fucking
cool.
sense. And
To be fair, it wasn't a full helicopter yet.
it helicoptered enough.
Yes, it did.
It hovered.
Yeah, it
No,
did the helicopter
Your
thing.
point still stands, but yeah, they should have put more time into this than jetpacks.
Yeah, like literally, if one side in the war had that and the other side didn't, it would have been a huge like advantage.
Yeah.
Not the fucking jetpacks. But anyway, so yeah, they basically they fly off. The blimp crashes, and it's all this cover up, like Sinclair died in a tragic blimp accident. Nobody cares about the land part of Hollywood land.
No one ever did.
Yeah. And they're all just at the diner the next day. And when Howard Hughes is just like, I'm going to drive a plane down the street, which is in character for Howard Hughes.
And probably in
My car's
character
in
for
the
this
shop. Let me
community.
drive this plane.
Yeah. And yeah, he's like, well, Cliff, I know you can't be Jetpack Man anymore, but I could give you another plane. And like, that's awful nice of you, Howard Hughes. It's like, there's a jar of piss inside.
Yep. Just for you.
Just for you. And then like,
Also, you don't have to pay back. That airfield's pretty much yours now since the owner got folded in half.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
First piss in the morning.
did the rest of you guys catch this part when so Hughes asks him like, how was it flying on that? And he's like, it's the closest thing I've ever experienced to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like thinking about, though, he looks at Jenny, and Jenny is just stroking like a support pole
Yep.
on the
I didn't
plane.
notice
I did not
No.
see
Like,
I
that.
did not notice
Yeah,
that.
no, like
did.
straight up, like
Nice.
like in a very phallic manner. And he's like, then again,
Maybe not.
yeah, maybe
Yeah.
not.
I think
did
it's
not
referencing
see
the plane.
that.
I did not
Like
notice
watch
that.
that, because I was like, that got past the censor.
Alrighty then.
But I think the reason why is what we see right
Yeah.
here. Like, what, it's 3 of these, I can't count, think, or do.
All right,
Slow down. Just slow down.
You're breaking
3
down.
of the 5 people here did not notice that, and I guarantee I did not notice that the first time I saw this movie.
Yeah.
Wait, you noticed it this
No,
last
that
time?
jumped out
Oh,
immediately.
I knew of it from a previous.
It's one of those
time.
things that I guess it's like no kid's gonna get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that was an intentional thing, because I think
Yeah.
it was just like she's supposed to be marveling at the plane and like, you know, checking it out or
She's
whatever.
looking
But
right at him.
well, yeah, her looking at him was intentional, but like I don't think they were put together like her giving him that face while stroking this thing. It was just
She's eating a wiener from the
Yeah.
from the hot dog stands.
So anyway, so
she's like, I need a little ketchup, and starts
Yeah.
squirting the bottle in her face.
So
God.
this is the era of cinema where your movie ends with you making out with the lady character and the credits roll.
Yeah.
And
And that's
that's the rock.
That's the Rocketeer.
PD
he gets
the
the
blueprints.
The blueprint he was making.
back.
making the whole point of this movie kind of irrelevant because now
Oh,
he's going to make it
The Rocketeer 2, where he gets kidnapped by the Nazis and then they have to go to
Well, apparently,
Germany.
according to Disney Junior, he gives it to a little girl who just goes jetpacking around
Was it
the
the little
neighborhood.
girl at the
Yeah.
dogfight club?
I don't know.
Wow. All right. Well, let's take a quick commercial break. All right, guys. That was The Rocketeer. What does IMDb have to say about this film? Or Rotten Tomatoes? Whatever we do.
Whatever the fuck.
It doesn't matter.
What do we do?
What do we
It
do?
doesn't matter.
What do we
But
do?
RottenTomatoes.com, critics gave this a score of 64%. Audience gave this a score of 65%.
Wow. All right.
We had agreement.
generous.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah, that's their thoughts and opinions. What about you and yours, Rob? Or you know what, Joe? Why don't we start with you since you seem to...
No, I mean I didn't like it. It's a harmless movie. Like there's nothing really like offensive or anything about it, but there's nothing going on. Like he's not really like he kind of sucks like as a hero. The Timothy Dalton villain's kind of okay. The rest of the cast is take it or leave it. The action's not much. The plot is basic. The premise I found a little silly, but that's me being more of like a history buff. But it's just I can't see ever really wanting to watch it again. And there's not one scene in the film where I'm like, you have to see that. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. I'd say it's just a waste of time.
Rob.
I enjoyed it, and I'm recommending it for the exact same reasons that Joe just gave.
Care to elaborate?
I mean, I thought it was harmless fun. It's just one of those kind of feel good sort of movies where it's like everything's fine at the end, whatever. Nothing really happens. There's no actual consequences, but like there's some fun parts, and it's definitely one of those like rainy afternoon, shut your brain off movies. And I enjoy those kinds of things. So I probably won't watch it again anytime soon, but I'd recommend people watch it at least just one time.
But that also explains Joe has made it clear he is not a turn your brain off.
Yeah,
movie
that's
guy.
fine.
Yeah.
That's totally
That's
fine.
two sides of the same coin.
Oh yeah, that's just Tim. Brian.
Yeah, I liked it. I'm kind of in like with Rob. This is a movie it's a longer like Western almost, because like it's there's only one thing happening. Like this thing comes to town that like it causes the bad guy some problems. The bad guys want it, and then at the end he has to have a showdown with the bad guy, and like he saves his girlfriend, and he rides off in the sunset. Like it's harmless. There aren't really much stakes with what Rob was saying, but like it's just fun enough to like kind of it's a fun watch. Like I'd watch it again. I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it again, but it's harmless. I think a D is kind of a little low. I might give it a C minus. Might give it like a 70. But yeah, I liked it, and the jetpack stuff like it actually looks cool. The effects don't hold up very well. It's kind of a shame because if the effects held up,
Yeah, when you say jetpack, you mean the design.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a cool costume.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The costume's cool. Like I would like to actually see like a sequel to where like he's figured out how to do this thing. Like, you know, he's like now FBI, like he's like a special agent for them. So, you know, where like Rocketeer is
straight
a
up Commando Cody.
Yeah,
but like set in the same time period,
Yeah,
so they
same.
don't overdo it.
Maybe
like
if you got rid of Howard Hughes, did it where like this guy's like inventor buddy made the jetpack for him, and he's figured out how to use it to like do things that are exciting. I'd be down for that instead of just he flies around.
But yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm on the same page as Robin Bryan. I'm going to say solid recommend. Letter grade, if that matters, I'll say like C+. But two things that really, I would say are in this movie's favor. One is nostalgia for like kid or people my age, our age, who like grew up with seeing this movie in Blockbuster and seeing it on Disney Channel. And second is the fact that it's streaming on Disney Plus. And the first day I got Disney Plus, I was just doing the thing, scrolling through every movie they had and saw this. And I was like, oh, heck yeah, added to my queue, and not like didn't sit down to watch it right then. But it was like, you know, rainy afternoon, or like definitely in, you know, if you can't find anything else to watch, like on Netflix or any other streaming service, that I'm like, oh yeah, I might watch this at some point. But I mean, anything I would say would be echoing other folks, but yeah, just I enjoyed it. Wasn't mind blowing, but also is not by far like the worst movie we've seen or reviewed. So I'd say C+.
Plus, I mean, Jennifer Connelly, am I right, everybody?
And plus, like,
but you could get that
they
anywhere.
beat Nazis. Like,
Yeah, that's always.
Yeah, but you could get that anywhere.
Wait. Where would you rather go? Like Requiem for a Dream, Jennifer Connelly?
There's a bunch. You could get a bunch of different Jennifer Conleys. Like there's a lot of that.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah, this is a bit of a tough one for me. I enjoy the movie enough, partly from nostalgia, and I like the setting. I like a lot more of the idea than the execution is the problem. Because, yeah, it is just a whole lot of nothing kind of happening for most of this movie, like flying around and meandering and not actually being a hero in any real major way. So I can't necessarily recommend people go see it, but I wouldn't turn them against it. It is one that I won't watch anytime soon, but I would not be against seeing again at some point down the road or whatever. Especially like a rainy day, or, you know, like working off a hangover or something, that kind of thing. Doing something else that's on in the background. Yeah. But yeah, so like C- sounds like a good thing. But yeah, it's more at this point, I guess you could just go see Captain America. That'd probably be the better
Or Indiana Jones
version of it, or Indiana Jones. But it is why I'm interested to see if they do ever make, what are they? I want to call them Silverhawks, but I know that's not their name. The other, I think it's a DC property with like guys of this era that were all pilots, and you know what I'm talking about?
what was it? Silverhawks?
Exo Squad.
No.
Wait, what do we? Wait, go. What's the description you're talking about?
DC comic about a bunch of pilots fighting in this era, like
they
wartime.
pop up
kinda.
and stuff.
Oh.
What's-
Yeah.
because they were in Justice League. One of the retired ones.
Yeah, I can't remember their name
what's the
now,
name
but
of the-
Spielberg's supposed to be doing that
Yeah.
movie.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, like, I'd be interested to see that kind of thing. And I'd like to see, like, this rebooted or something, or a sequel or something like that. But, yeah.
Disney Plus series.
For this one, yeah, if you want to watch it, check it out. But if you haven't seen it, you're not missing much. So,
Nice.
that's me.
Okay. So, that's all of our opinions. What do we have next?
Well, it's that time. We get to roll the die to see what comes up next. The D20 of Fate, and it's Joe's turn to roll.
D20 of Fate. D20 of Fate. D20 of Fate.
16.
16.
Nice.
Now,
That better be a winner.
before I check what 16 is, can anyone tell me why there's MSG in Doritos?
Might as well whatever.
Yeah.
Because it makes it taste good.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm not gonna. Don't question it.
Keep you docile, damn
Cool.
it.
That's
Oh.
not a good face.
1990 what?
2010,
Uh-oh.
The Expendables.
Oh, I mean, it's,
Okay.
I've never seen it. So.
Get your C4.
yeah. A lot of C4.
Get all the
And your
C4.
tanning oil. and
Your oils.
Get your Dolph Lundgren.
Your
get
vegetables.
Your Stone Cold.
Mm.
Get your Frank Mir. Get your Jason Statham. Get your Jet Li.
Was
Get your
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan. No, Jackie
I
Chan
know,
wasn't
I'm
in
just
that
making
one.
stuff up.
Wasn't in that one?
You're Sylvester Stallone.
I don't think JCVD was in this one either.
No,
Right,
Van
let's
Damme's
not
the
worry about
villain.
it.
It's the second one.
Second one.
Let's not
Okay.
worry about it yet.
Bruce Willis is in it for
get your
5
Bruce Willis,
seconds, I think.
Get your Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, the first one he was in more, wasn't he? And then like the second one he's in for 5 minutes. Bruce Willis.
No, Bruce. There's only like one scene that has like Bruce Willis and Schwarzenegger. I think in the first one. I think the second one they get a bigger part.
Oh, maybe I'm. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is
I've never seen it, so.
Yeah.
it's you'll see.
Yeah.
You'll see what
Yeah.
it is.
Want to see Stallone roided up to all hell?
So
Watch
any movie he's in?
Yeah, watch any movie he's been in. the
Only thing I
last-
No, no, no,
remember
no.
is it's
Oh no! Big difference between like Rocky Stallone.
Save it for then.
yeah.
Okay.
Rocky Stallone.
The only thing I remember is it's exactly what it tells you. It is like
Yeah, it's expendable.
Yeah.
Sure.
Guys, we want to thank you so very much for listening. If you haven't already, go to our freaking website at 4ampodcast.podbean.com. Follow the link to our merchandise store. Buy a t-shirt. They're so comfy. I'm wearing it now. It's like my favorite shirt. It's so comfy.
He is wearing it again.
I think it might have
Have you
replaced.
watched it?
Yeah, I don't think he's taken it off since.
Not since last time I
It's
recorded.
connected to your skin.
Yeah, well, as is my chair. But like, I think it might have replaced even my Jurassic Park shirt. It's like my most comfy shirt.
Oh.
It's really good. If you like what you heard, subscribe. Give us a rating on iTunes because we want to know what you think. Otherwise, we'll cry.
Which one of you just gave us that rating on iTunes? Okay.
You can also follow us on
I think
Twitter
that was a 1-star.
or Facebook
Yeah.
at 4am Podcast. You can email us at the 4am Podcast at gmail.com.
What was that again?
The number 4am Podcast at gmail.com. And if you want to support what we do, go become a patron at patreon.com/4am Podcast. You can also just buy merch. That also supports what we do, helps us keep the website running, helps us keep our bellies full, helps us keep... Maybe we can buy one of these other fools a shirt. Since they're so cheap, they're not going to buy one for themselves, even though they get it at cost. It's okay.
Why you gotta put us on blast like that? Well,
Yeah. Fuck you, Rob.
It's the 4am podcast. That's what we do.
Yeah, I'm done.
That's right.
Like at least 25% of our time is putting each other on blast.
Yeah. Yes, son. But that's it. We want to thank you so much for listening. You guys are awesome. We'll see you next time.
deuces.
Adios.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.